Buhurt, catch the vibe we bring. Xander and Collin got this podcast thing. Nights with Riz and band to the spare. They slay the mic like they just don't care. Let's go! Buhurt, yeah, you know the name. Buhurt, in the podcast game. Turn it up loud and enjoy the show. Xander and Carly are ready. Let's go!
Hello, Buhurt babies. Welcome to our next episode of the Buhurt podcast. We're here again this week to bring you a new episode to help you with your Buhurt practice, conditioning, practicing, getting to tournaments, competing at tournaments, the whole 9 yards. We're breaking it down into individual topics, and today's topic is drills you can do by yourself, with your buddies, and with a team.
So today we're really excited about, actually I think our guest is probably the most excited anybody has ever been in their entire life. He's been like blowing up our DMs. He's already started his 2v1s against us, you know. We're in a group chat, and I'm really excited to have him here. So it's Collin Campbell, and what I know about Collin Campbell because I hear horror stories, right, of him beating the tar out of people. Oh, his eyes are wide right now. This is great. Beating the tar out of people in out trance, and also just being a general powerhouse on the field. You know, like he's somebody that you always think about when you're going to a tournament expecting to get into some big grapples and some heavy striking. So I've seen him fight on a couple of different teams. If I'm going to butcher it, hopefully I'm right here, but I saw Dominus, White Company, and the Brisbane Beast are who I know from now. And so he used to be over in the States, but he's abandoned us to go over to Australia and start teaching a lot of folks there about drills, about Buhurt. I see him all the time on Instagram, really leading a charge of like 20 dudes running all around and learning Buhurt in ways that we all look to our gyms to be like. Right. And I think that if you're following that kind of content, you're following those kinds of people, there's a lot to learn because we see a lot of success in the teams in Australia. We see a lot of success in even just having a club with that many folks showing up and fighting. I mean, truly, like, armored practice is really big in Australia. So we have a lot to learn out here for anybody who isn't familiar. And this is our chance. So we're going to get to talk to him. I'm going to let him unleash his muted microphone so he can tell us a little bit about what brings him to Buhurt. The Brisbane Beast, yeah. What brings him to Buhurt, why he's here, and what he's going to share with us. So, Collin, thanks for being here.
Hi, Collin.
Yo. Morning, everyone. Evening, wherever we are. I don't know. It's morning here. It's evening there for you guys.
Yeah, we're looking at time difference. It's like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock our time now. We've been talking for a while.
9, 10 a.m. here. Easy peasy.
Nice.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Well, my name's Collin Campbell. Collin like the body part, Campbell like the soup. That's a joke. I've been steel fighting since 2015. I originally started in Washington with the team Iron Phoenix. I fought with them as USA 1, Battle of the Nations 16, 17, 18, 19. Then I moved to Australia because COVID, whackety whack, and my wife, my beautiful wife, Siobhan Oxford. And then here, kind of through necessity, we started, like, me and a dude named S-Ride. Very cool. You might hear him. Check out his Instagram, S-Ride, at S-Ride.
S-Ride.
They know him.
We kind of collectively started having a little group, and then we were like, no, we should make, like, a team. We should make a team. And so in early 2021, we created Beast Armored Combat, Brisbane Beasts. And with the help of a, like, really good team, like Serena, Crypto, like, we built an amazing website. We have, like, a great culture. We made it an incorporated non-for-profit. And then with that team, we've gotten 2 medals at Australian Medieval Combat Federation Nationals. We've got 2 silver medals. I think we made top 10 at Buhurt League World Cup in 2023. And then we made, a lot of us were on the 12s and the 30s that got gold medal at Buhurt International this year.
Hell yeah.
And we do a lot of dueling. A lot of outrants. We have a lot of, like, medals and podium finishes in that. We have men and women's Buhurt. We try to facilitate the culture of Beast. We're just trying to facilitate sword fighting at all levels, whether that's like once a week soft kit to like international gold medalist. You know what I mean?
Cool.
As a kind of, we want to like facilitate for everyone, make it fun for everybody. And just things I want to go over today. So that's just some of my credentials, some of the teams that I've been part of. Dominus. I've fought with White Company. I love being like a merc and just being like rolling around like a loosey goosey. But then today I'd like to go over, because I don't want to go over how to structure a training regimen for a team. There's a video by Jake Taylor from Team Kraken that he did about structuring training regimens. And I'll give that to you guys to put in the link. It's one of the best videos, teaching videos for how to schedule and teach people Buhurt.
For the listeners,
what I'm
we
gonna
will
go
have
over
it in the show notes. Yeah.
Go
ahead. Sorry.
Today I just want to go over games, drills, and just training from yourself alone to like, to with a buddy to with 20 people,
That's awesome. So real quick though, what role do you play in your gym currently? Because I know you're founding it, you helped found it, but what role do you play?
I'm one of the founders. Right now I'm one of the coaches. I'm one of the coaches. We have a couple coaches, me, we have S-Ride. We have a couple people who help with outrins who are really good at outrins. Jordan, he got third in his division against Emil and Johnny this year at BI. So he's definitely a brawler. And we have just like a really good blanket of knowledge. So I'm like quote unquote head coach.
Okay.
I'm quote unquote head coach. And I just like I'll try to help with everything, like maintenance, like paying bills to like fixing armor to like everything.
What's your club structure? Like, do you guys have a facility that you own, lease, or are you taking up like space in an already existing gym, or like what's going on?
Okay. So we started out like kind of in parks, and then we went to MMA gyms in the beginning and would try to squeeze into time slots that they had available there. And we would pay rent at MMA gyms until we built enough solid of a group that we were like, okay, we do weekly membership fees. And then over the times in the MMA gyms, we collected enough resources to be like, okay, now let's go ahead and try to rent our own facility. Hunt around for a long time. We ended up finding this really cool facility. It's a building that we rent, just a building that we rent. It's about 180 square meters. I don't know what that is in feet. It's Australia.
360? Go ahead.
It's about 180 square meters. And then we do weekly. So we rent our facility. We're on, I think, like a 3-year lease or something. We do weekly payments. And no, actually, we don't do weekly anymore. We do punch cards. So you can buy a single class, 3 classes, or 6 classes. The more classes you buy, the cheaper it is. So I think that means each class at its cheapest is like 20 Australian dollars. And we're very translucent because we are a non-for-profit incorporated club. So we're very translucent with our money. I'd say 95%, like literally 95% plus of the money we get from membership goes to the bills, utilities, and rent.
That's cool.
All the other money that we get for equipment and other things, it's either donated or grant money. So we go and we apply for grants, and then we get grant money to then facilitate gear.
Nice.
And so the biggest thing I think in the beginning, it's hard to gather people, but once you have people, the thing is, if you want the sport to be treated like a sport, you have to treat it like a sport. And all sports, there's a membership fee. There's a monthly or weekly membership fee. So I know a lot of Buhurters in the beginning can be very on their toes about charging for classes. But the truth is, if you want a facility and you want your club to grow, you need to make sure you're building structured classes. You need to make sure you're having consistent classes. And then you kind of do, if you want your own facility, you got to find a way to get the money. And usually that's through like charging for classes. And so we do that. But then with that, because they pay money, our students at our club pay money. With that, there is a burden on the club council to provide a service.
Right.
So we try to
higher
give
quality.
You give them training games, training regimens. Right. You're teaching them skills that give self-confidence, strength, endurance.
We're not paying him, right?
Camaraderie.
I hope.
No. Okay. Woo! I was like, he gets paid for his time. Whoa.
I don't get paid. I don't get paid as the coach. We were talking about a payment plan, but then we found it easier for the cut. Like if I go to an event as a coach, the club will cover certain things. But I don't want to take the money from the club because I mean, I know how hard it is to get money for the club.
Well, and you get a club to train at.
And I was gonna say, and you benefit from going, like, and coaching and learning and teaching and Yeah,
I get high amounts of play. It's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so how many? So just so let's start jumping into our topics. But I wanted to ask about how many classes do you find yourself teaching a week right now?
Okay, so if I'm just full season, I'll teach the 3 to 4 classes a week. If we're full season right now, because we're quote unquote off season, I've just been doing 2 a week. And then other club members like Sam or Serena or other club members, they'll open up and they'll run classes. Sweet. So in a full blown season, I'm there 4 to 5 days a week because it's what I want to do. It's what I want to do. And everyone's hyped. So it's easy to like, show up, open up, be like, yeah, we're going to work on this today. We're going to work on this. But that's the coolest part about having your own building. Because when you're with like an MMA gym and stuff, you might show up at your weird time slot that they give you at 7 a.m. on Sunday, and they've like changed everything. But you have to just roll with it because it's their space, it's their facility.
Right.
But the coolest part about having your own clubhouse, and we call it a clubhouse, not a gym, because a gym implies for profit, and we are strictly non-for-profit.
I like it.
So we say clubhouse because it is like a clubhouse. It's us versus them. It's you're up in the tree, like you versus the world type thing. And it gives ownership to everybody. And the coolest part about having your own space, your own clubhouse, is I just show up there and flick the lights on, and I can put on what music and movies on the projector I want, and I start vacuuming. And nobody tells me, you know what I mean? That's like, you don't have to show up to like, oh, I wonder what they did at the MMA gym this week. Like you show up and you're like, no, the list is right there. Like today we're going to go over throws and tackle, like, whatever. It
keeps everything really focused, Like actually the 3 of us have all been in gyms and clubs that are dedicated to Buhurt. So like the Knights Hall where I started, like we had classes, we had a gym space, we had a discussion space. SJK, I know like you helped found. So like today they have like a full list. They've got exercise equipment. They've got like the whole 9 yards. The armory in the back. Yeah, they have an armory to fix the front room for business meetings. Business front room. They got the shit. They got the shit bathroom and the good bathroom. Right? Yeah, there's the bad bathroom. There's the good bathroom. So, unfortunately, the bad bathroom is also where you can take a shower. Crap. I know. Well, like the truth is, it took a lot of work, and it definitely just wasn't me. It was a lot of really like way smarter people than me putting in a lot of work. But over the past 5 years now, it's like they really like all the work. It starts to like kind of show through, and not just like with all the cool stuff that we have, but you start to see like the development of people over this time. And it makes it worth it. That's what makes it worth it. It's not about winning the gold medals or like doing this or that. What it's really about is like building confidence in yourself, and then building confidence with your team, and then having friends and being part of a thing bigger than yourself. Because that's the beauty of Buhurt, is it will make you go deeper and further than you ever wanted to go, because your friends are there and you have to help them. It's cool. It's really cool. Help them not die and help them from themselves. You're like, bro, why are you in that bad grapple? Get out of here. You're just like, fucking get this dude off of him. Like, get off my friend. You fucking hit him, whatever, But yeah. Oh man, that's wonderful. I'm excited. If you want to check us out, beast.org.au. Fly out, fight them. Fly out and fight them. Okay, let's get into some drills. Let's get into some fun. So, you have your list. You got something right on top. How do you want to start? You're by yourself. Like, what are you doing? Hit us. Exactly. And I know you guys touch on this subject a lot, but you're solo, and you're like, oh crap, I want to train Buhurt, but I'm alone. There's a lot you can do. Right away. Because just the environment of the game, Pell work, and you guys talk about this a lot, like using different kinds of Pells, soft swords, hard swords, whatever. But right away, you can get something to hit and get a stick
and something that like a punching bag. At minimum, I tell people get like a metal pipe and a boxing glove as your shield, and then and something to hit, even if it's just a punching bag you got off Facebook Marketplace for $20.
Or
Go hang it up at the local schoolyard.
Cruise down, look for an old like an old couch or something with steal some of their like whatever, like
prison
it doesn't
style.
have to be it doesn't have to be perfect to start.
What's
your little brother?
What's your timing for people recommendation for pelvic, like right out the gate, like just out of curiosity?
Just right out of the gate, probably. Because in the beginning, I want people to work on technique and body motion. I'll usually do same time work, same time break. So 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Blah, blah. You know what I mean? 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off. Just to really let them go through the motion, try to fully recover, and think about what they've been doing. You know what I mean? And think about, because with Pel, you can just do sword, you can add in your punches, your kicks, you can train Buhurt style where you're just going power. Like there's all these variants that you can do with it.
Swing with the butt. Swing with the butt. Don't forget to swing with your butt. Move your body.
There's a lot of good body mechanic SCA Pel videos. Like there's a dude, Sir Sven, who is like an old Amcar guy. He has some really good SCA Pel work videos. Remember throwing in your punches, throwing in your kicks. So just as a quick glance, just Pel work. Pel work you can do solo. It can be cheap, a stick, a boxing glove, and a shitty boxing bag. And you can just start getting swinging. You can look up a lot of judo throws with bands. Look up judo band rep throws, and you can start working solo just with the band. You can start working your Sotos, your Sasais. You can just start working that body movement and that muscle development, even solo, just with the band. Break falls, because there's always going to be contact with the ground. Break falls and tumbling. Learn how to break fall. Learn how to tumble.
You can do it in the grass, right? Like you can do it like on your carpet, but like do it slow, do it safe, do it in progression. Like start kneeling, start on the floor. Don't start front rolling and back rolling. Like that's how you hurt yourself. Put your booty down, get used to just falling over, do it a couple hundred times, and then progress up.
In regards to outrance, like start shrimping, start developing like hip bucks, like standing techniques. Like there's a lot that people can do. There's a lot people can do solo. And then just solo, like if you're solo and you're wondering, in my opinion, what to develop, I always want to develop strength and then endurance. In my opinion, endurance is king in Buhurt. But if you don't have the strength to back it up, then your endurance is worthless. You need to be able to be strong for a long time. So I do multiple Tabata body weight with weight sessions a week, like 3 to 4. I do 2 to 3 gym heavy lift sessions a week. I do 2 to 4 Buhurt trainings a week. And then I do like daily commute on my bicycle, and I'll do like once or twice a week, I'll do a jog, like a 2 to 5K jog, just to keep the endurance up. I want to keep the strength high, but I want to keep the movement high too. I don't want to be so strong that I'm slow. And you know what I mean?
Right.
So just like if it was solo, people can work on Pel, judo throw repetitions, break falls, tumbling, outrance, ground movement, that kind of thing. And then you're just on workout. You're just on general.
I have a question. What do you guys think? Sorry, this is a little bit of an aside, but like focusing on strength and not necessarily on speed and endurance, is that valuable for somebody that you would just put on the rail, and would you use that guy in a different way?
Yeah, you could. Well, that I would tell somebody who doesn't have a lot of strength or movement, right? Maybe they're a newer person, like focus on strength to get the muscle, and then we'll solidify it. But if you get somebody who's like this big jack dude who's
like what if it's like a power lifter that's just come in and he's like, maybe I'm not fast.
We've all seen it.
Any fighter,
yeah. Well, the reality is, I would do exactly what you said. Be like, you're on the rail. But you have to understand that powerlifter guy, because his endurance is probably his like 3rd or 4th attribute that he works on, he's only going to be a 1-rounder. Yeah. So even at the end of the day, I'd be like, you can continue to do your powerlifting and stuff with the stipulation that you're a 1-rounder, because you are. But if you want to become a 2-rounder, you got to move that endurance up a little closer. But exactly, everyone's attributes have a place. You know what I mean? But in my preference, just as me. I want to be a big, strong guy that can be big and strong for a long time, because that's the scariest person in Buhurt.
Right.
The scariest person is you're in the third act and there's still a guy who's like, that guy's still running around being strong.
I think it's important for somebody who maybe is not familiar with like how we compete and what it actually looks like when we're competing. Like a lot of athletics is about playing like a big game. Like if you're a football player, you're going to play one football game. It's going to take about 3 hours. You're going to come in and out and all this kinds of stuff. Like you're not you don't need the type of endurance that we really require. Like, because when we're competing, we're going round after round after round after round.
Sometimes
like
3 minutes.
It can take an entire
sometimes 5 minutes
day.
per round, yeah.
And you're going about 5 minutes per match. And you're going about one match per 15 minutes to half an hour. And you could be going, if there's a lot of teams there, you could be going a long time depending on how that they've written the brackets. So like just putting a little bit more context to like why endurance would be so important and why strength is like, it sounds like you would rank that like a number 2 attribute. Like
I want endurance. You want them like side by side, because just like you said, if you want gold medals in Buhurt, that means that you're going to be fighting longer than anyone else, because you're not getting knocked out of the bracket, and the fighting is getting harder while you're fighting longer. Right. So you've been in armor 10 hours fighting the whole time, and at that peak of 10 hours, now you're fighting the hardest team. Right. So really, it does boil down to who has the better endurance, who has the better energy management, who can think better when they're tired, who can think better, like what team's thinking better, what team's communicating better when they're tired. So exactly. That is why I would put endurance so high, because at the end of the day, when you're fighting for that gold medal, everybody's tired. Yeah. Everybody's tired. But to me, it's like, what I tell myself is everyone's tired, but they're more tired. Yes. I lie to myself. I'm like, yes, we're tired, but they are more. I lie, like they are more tired.
That's one of my favorites. I can't wait till we fight, because my whole thing is like, they're tired. I'm like, if I'm tired, I know they're more tired. Like, there's no way that I am less tired than them, because I push as hard as I fucking can every week. So I'm like, unless they're pushing as hard as me, or there's some freak of nature or something, they're at least as tired as me. So I'm gonna go punch that dude in the face. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's it just helps push that.
But that's
motivation,
why that individual focus, even without a training partner, there's still so much you can train on. Yes. Just alone. You know what I mean? And then but finally you do get a training partner.
Oh,
and now
Yahtzee.
You have a 1v1.
I got a buddy.
1v1. And now you finally have a training partner. But say you don't have any gear. Things you can do, wrestling. Craig Michael Ivey years ago said 70% of Buhurt's probably wrestling. So if you have a partner and say you don't have any gear, start getting into wrestling right away. Start doing body swimming, head swimming. Mm-hmm. We do a fun drill called inside drill or sumo drill, where you're just trying to push each other back and forth. If your partner's moving you, you're losing the drill, whatever that means. But that kind of teaches people how if somebody's ever driving you, you can either clear them out and be like, no, you're not pushing me anymore, or you're fighting and you notice there's a body behind the guy and you know how to move their center line because of the sumo wrestling drill. Give them a quick pop, boom, over the body. We also do like hip to hip. So we'll stand hip to hip, and then one person will have a headlock, other person will have an underhook, and then we're just like fighting hip to hip.
Yeah, wait, we got 2 people. We can demonstrate.
Yep. We can do it. So, just like that. And then the goal is to try to get your hip either in front or behind your opponents and make them stumble and touch the ground. So cool. Your side, because how often does that happen?
All the time.
You hit the list, and then your arm's over somebody, and now you're in this weird, awkward hip fight, right? So we'll train that. So body swimming, head swimming, sumo drill, forward, backward, side to side. You can do leg wrestling, where we put our arms behind our back, and we only use our legs to try to sweep, pull, grab, hook, kind of push and drive. And I'll usually use that as a warm-up, actually, because I'll make people warm up with their legs, and then I'll introduce the arms for the body and head swimming. Because a lot of times when people are wrestling, they forget that their legs are grabbing or a movement component as well. And so if you start with no arms and legs, people will warm up grabbing with their legs first, and then you introduce the arms, and then people will be full body engagement with the wrestling. With our wrestling, and I'll just say this real quick, the rules of our club are: number one, take a break whenever you need a break, because nobody lives your life. Like, nobody knows how your day's stacked, so take a break when you want to break. Number two, consent is mandatory, because what we do is violent, and without consent, it's not cool. So you always, and all that means is you start slow, and then if you want to pace it up, you ask a question. Hey, you want to pace it up? And they either say yes or they say no, and you say, okay. And you always have to meet your partners. So you always ask a question and receive an answer, and then go to that level. We always start swim, so we'll just swim, and then we'll ask a question. You want to tighten up? And they say, yep. And that just means upper body fight. So now we're upper body fighting, no legs, no sweeps or anything. And then the second command is, do you want to go full? And then we add in legs with consent. Because that's the most dangerous part, is the standing to ground. Right. So it's a consensual build. It's a consensual build. And if me and Xander, we're just like know each other really well, we can just swim for literally 2 seconds. 1, 2. You want to tighten up? Yep. Start tightening up. 10 seconds to tighten up. You want to go full? Yep, let's go full. And just right away, you just turn up. But if it's a newbie, my newbies, I tell them, you're not doing anything more than upper body fight. So you can swim and tighten up. You're a newbie. And then we'll go over throws. So things you can do with a partner without gear, you can wrestle. A lot of wrestling. Another game that we play without gear, 1v1, is shoulder knee. And shoulder knee can scale to literally 20 versus 20, however you want. The rules of shoulder knee: you use your hands to score, also use your hands to block. I'm going for my partner's shoulder or their knee. If I hit anywhere else on my partner, they will just verbally communicate, no. So if I get their arm, nope, yep, got me. On shoulder, if you get tapped on the shoulder or knee, on payment of death, you do a burpee or a squat, whatever.
Nice.
And then you stand and you tap hands, and then you start going again. With shoulder knee, it's like a modified boxing drill. It's like a modified boxing drill, because they go for the shoulders a lot to warm up. Boom, boom. But I find that it's really good for a 1v1 warm up for striking, because you get used to somebody coming into your bubble trying to get you, and you get used to going into someone else's bubble. You're also level changing, because you're going for their shoulder or their knee, and then you're doing the whole movement. You're literally practicing all your fighting skills. Like, you're warming up your hand-eye coordination. You're thinking to your head, I want to get him in the knee. How am I going to do that? And that's like fighting. If you're like, I'm going to try to get a big shield punch, how am I going to do that?
Mental warm-ups too. Like, you gotta warm up the cognition. You got to warm up the body just the same, You got to warm up coordinating your legs, your arms, your everything. Yeah.
So that game, shoulder knee, is really fun, because you need no equipment to do it. If you get tapped on the shoulder or knee, you just acknowledge it, do a squat or burpee, and then you can scale that. So it can be 1v1, and then I'll usually, after a few 1v1s, I'll make those people partner up, and then it's teams of 2. So you got 10 teams of 2. And then all those people, and then you're focusing on your field awareness, head on a swivel, communication with the partner, movement, all that kind of stuff. Because with me, maybe I should rewind a bit. When I'm teaching Buhurt, because I'm going to focus mostly on Buhurt and striking drills today. When I'm teaching Buhurt, I break down Buhurt into just 3 categories: striking, because there's weapons, and your body, and you're hitting. And then all over a long enough timeline, all striking will dissolve to wrestling, because I hit Xander with an axe, and then he doesn't like it, so he grabs it and then closes in on me. Mm-hmm. So every training we'll do striking, we'll do wrestling, and then finally it's a field game. It's the only martial art that also is a field game. And so because of the field game element, we'll use games like shoulder knee a lot, not only to warm up 1v1, but then put people in pairs. And now when you get tapped on the shoulder knee, you just die for the round. You're just dead till the fight's over. And then you can build it into 2v2s, and it'll eventually just stack. I'll just stack it so it's a line fight. So it's, say we have 10 people at practice, it's 5v5, or 20 people at practice, it's 10v10. And then you're practicing not only you're getting in and out of somebody's bubble, now you're practicing a mass field fight. Right. Where it's okay, guys, remember, you're not trying to shoulder knee the person in front of you because they're looking at you. You're going to get the guy at the 45, though, because he's not. And you start training these people.
So just to be clear, I'm this is for me if not anybody else, like they stand in a line. So it's like team A is in a line, team B is in a line, and then they're
line
just
fight.
trying. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're line fight, just like a Buhurt line fight. And then and then maybe I'm like, okay, I'll go over and be like, okay, you're gonna try to break the back line and try to circle the back line and get some shoulder knees in the back line. It gets like, people love it. It's just a simple tag game. But you're through this game, you're teaching people these like battle instincts, like head on a swivel, communication, field movement, like corralling or triangulating somebody. Like, you know,
stuff you have to like you kind of have to show somebody or teach them like in some way. And games are great because people are like, it's no stakes, but you have a motivator, which is to win or to lose. You don't want to lose because being shamed sucks. No, just kidding. But but like burpees suck, right? Now you have a motivator of burpees, even if that person's not competitive. Now they don't, you know, maybe they don't want to do burpees, but it also gets people to recognize battle tactics. And yes, like weapons and armor changes like how positioning works. And like, you know, when you're doing LARP striking or just like single hit kills, people will be more dodgy than like maybe accepting a strike and moving past it to create like an advantageous position. But you still learn like, how do I have to be aware of that person, of that guy, of, you know, of what's going on. And then that's really cool. So like, that's an awesome game.
You try it through these games, you try to teach people to be hyper paranoid, because anyone can tag you on the knee or shoulder. Yeah. But if you become hyper paranoid, exactly. But then instead of a shoulder knee game, it's actual weapons. That's not a bad trait to have. It's not a bad trait to be hyper paranoid when there's 10 people running around with axes.
I'm hyper paranoid. I'm hyper paranoid, you know?
It's good.
Getting hit in the back fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So nobody likes to be cross-checked.
Yeah, exactly. So in 1v1, if I had a 1v1 partner and we didn't have any gear, I'd warm up with some shoulder knee just so we get used to movement, 360-degree movement, level changes, looking for trying to lock in an actual objective, get their shoulder knee, and you get warmed up. Then I'd go into some body swimming, some head swimming. And then we do a lot of attack defense drills, where one person is on the attack, whatever that objective is, and the other person is on the defense. So they're learning to defend or step out of that attack. Brett Skinner has a really cool video on his YouTube channel where him and Adam do like 4 throws. They're like, okay, I'm going to do a Sasai, an Asoto, like a leg grab, whatever. They pick 4 throws, and then one of them attempts the throw, so attacks, for 60 seconds, while the other one steps out of the throw, so defends. So we'll do a lot of attack defense like wrestling, where it's like, okay, what grip are we using? Okay, we're going to use a hand-high grip. Okay, you're on the attack for throws, and I'm trying to step out. Yeah. And as a good training partner, I give the attacker my hips. So I start square hipped with just my feet together. I'm not staggered or trying to get my hips away from him. I'm giving him a target to attack. And then he moves in, and it doesn't have to be fast. It shouldn't be fast because it's attack defense. It's a drill. He moves in for his throw attempt, does his throw attempt, and then I work on stepping out of it. And so for 60 seconds, he's just working through his throws, and I'm just working on stepping out of it. Boom, boom, boom. And that attack defense, kind of like the shoulder knee with the mass field fight, it's a scaling thing where you're like, okay, I'm going to practice my throws on this target first, and then we're going to warm up with attack defense, and then we'll go into actual wrestling rounds. And now I'm more confident because I've attempted the throw a lot, right? And you learn how to defend against it, step out of it. So that's just some things you can do with no equipment. Some wrestling, some attack defense wrestling, and some shoulder knee stuff.
Let me jump in for a sec. So I want to talk a little bit about things I'm hearing consistently through your explanations that we don't hear necessarily from everyone coaching. And it's the focus on communication between 2 people and really understanding the consent of what you're doing and what to expect, right? So we actually just like, this is something Carly introduced to me more directly, which is like talking with your training partner, being like, hey, we're going to go 50-50. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we're trying to accomplish, right?
You know, being like usually, and like I'm usually practicing in spaces where there are a lot of people that are bigger than me. Like, I'm a big lady, but I'm still, like, it's Buhurt, okay? So, like...
Yeah.
But, like, it all starts with, like, talking, like, hey, here's what I'm expecting from our sparring session, for example. Like, I'm expecting to be hit. I'm expecting you to hit me. I'm going to communicate to you ahead of time. Like if I feel a hit that is too much, I'm going to tell you that. Like, we talk about, like, the whole thing before we start, you know, and that's so important because, like, a lot of times it's easy to get into practice scenarios or like because these are we're doing violent things to each other, like you have mentioned. Like talking about like start stops and like forgive the comparison, but like a safe word, like, hey, I'm gonna like tell you, like, hey, that was too much. Like I might tell you that. We're still gonna be friends, but I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, we're training. Right. Yeah, I have a saying that I say to all my new people, because on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. is our new introduction class. So you have to take that class before you can take any other class. And the thing that I tell people when I tell them our second rule, consent's mandatory, is sex and violence are really similar. If it's not consensual, it's not fucking cool. Like, it's not cool for me to just walk up and kiss a girl. It's not cool for me to just walk up and punch a guy. People are going to be like, what the fuck? Like, and if you're in our training class, you have to start slow. There can't be tension. There can't be tension in your wrestling. It can't be heavy swings with your sword. You have to start slow. And even if it's only 5 seconds, you have to have a conversation. That's a question and an answer. That's a conversation. You have to have two people. And for me to scale it up at all, before, like, Carly, if we were doing something, before I even punched you, I'd be like, okay, do you want to add in hands? Yeah. And then you would say, do you want to put in hands? And then you'd either be like, no, like, maybe your shoulder hurts or something that week, and you just want to train forward. You can say no. And then I have to stay at the level that my partner wants. Yeah. I can never exceed the level that my partner sets. I have to ask a question and then receive an answer. If I'm like, yo, Carly, you want these hands? And they're like, let's go.
That's still a conversation, though.
That's still, exactly.
Yeah, that's enthusiastic consent.
But and then in the middle of it too, like, and this is important for somebody who's new, who's not like used to like putting your hands on people, like, because like full contact is also a lot different. Like, a lot of people come from sports. But not a full contact sport, not like this, like that.
Not a martial art field sport that doesn't exist anymore.
It can be so overwhelming, and you can think like you and I could be like in the middle of a sparring session, and like we're going fine, and all of a sudden like I'm feeling like a little too barraged, and I'm not like I'm not learning anything, or I'm starting to go into like too defensive or something like that. You have to be able to also say like, hey, like, Collin, like, let's just dial it back like 2 notches or whatever it is, or like, let's take a break. Let's whatever it is. It's okay. It's totally fine.
No, it's not just okay. It's like it's
mandatory.
Like mandatory. It's not just okay. It's like if you are uncomfortable, if you are ever uncomfortable in a situation, just tell your partner to stop. Yeah. Hey, stop. And a lot of times even. We'll be like, we were training yesterday, you might like sweep somebody or throw somebody unexpected, and they might hit the ground, because the sweep might work way better than he thought it would. And I'm like, I'm a very much like, are you okay kind of person. Like, I'm not, if you're going to training to win training, like, then you shouldn't be at training. Like, if you want to win training, then go to events. But you should go to training in a safe environment to experiment with your friends, to try to problem solve and figure out the best way to the solution. It shouldn't be, if you're going to training to be like, I'm gonna fucking own everyone at training. It's like, well, then maybe you should just stay home and go to events, man. Because you already, like, you're obviously have it all figured out. You know what I mean? In my opinion, that's just my opinion. But I want training to be a fun, safe environment where everyone should be allowed to speak their truth and be like, no, I only want to work on sword today. No, hey, stop. My neck's a little hurt. You know what I mean? Like, people should never be afraid to be like, yo, stop. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I love that, Carl. I love that. I think you should be justified in doing that. And I don't think it's weird at all to preset stipulation before you go into any sort of spar, especially if you're a girl fighting a boy, because we fight in separate divisions, women and men. And so if you're going to cross train Men are going to cross train with women. Women are going to cross train with men. That needs to be the safest. There needs to be more communication there than most places, because
even within divisions, it still happens that like there's huge size disparities too.
Exactly.
Like within my division, I represent the higher end of like the size and power scale, and then there's like a bunch of other folk that like don't, you know, that like I outweigh by 100 pounds in some cases. You know, like there has to be safety there too. Like it has to be across the board all the way through. You know, because like there's 115-pound men too that want to do steel sports, and they should be able to do it safe as well.
Yeah.
Like
no, exactly.
Yeah.
We have all those. We have the giants, the smalls, and it's and the way that we train it is. Okay, he's small, but he's fucking strong.
He's Buhurt small.
Yeah.
He's Buhurt small.
He's Buhurt small. He's
a muscly guy. He's a muscly guy.
Yeah.
But it is about no, I think that's great, and I think if anyone truly wants to develop their club and they want more than just training with a couple dorks in the park, and you want to get a facility, you want to start like building members. No, and that's fine, because I've done that my entire life is for fun parks. But if you want more than that, you have to cater to the environment, and you have to learn how to train safely. Like, don't ever call your training partner your opponent. Like, opponent's not the word to use at training. Opponent's not a word to use at training, because that puts enemy into people's head. Partner, training partner, friend, your buddy. Yeah, like it's a language thing just as much as it's a physical thing. And communication is huge, especially in our sport, because I say it all the time. If you fight a 5v5 and you fight 5 guys who aren't talking, those are just 5 individuals. Where if you're on a side and you communicate, you are an entity. You're an entity eating things. Right. And those 5 individuals will never stand up to your entity. Like, so the communication, it's not just a safety thing. Again, you're teaching people a weapon.
Mindset.
You're teaching people how to talk.
Well, and you
utilize their best weapon on the field, your friend. Right.
Well, and you even like said something that I don't hear often at all, which is no matter how experienced and skilled and buddy you are with somebody, maybe you've been training 10, 20 years, you still even said, maybe we do hands for 2 seconds. I still ask the question. It's never like oh we just mentally no. It's always the question's still there, and that mindset, because like how we use our mindset in our smallest moments, it will translate to how we use our mindset in our most important moments, right? And so like when you're bringing that mindset into tiny little conversations that you're doing over and over and over and over again. When you're on the field, when you're in that moment, some dude's trying to hit with your axe, like you're trying to tell your buddy to pull instead of push. You're trying to say like, okay, we're going for the rip, we're going for the, this, that, pinch the leg, whatever. Like you just got to be talking. You got to kind of unconsciously create a world where you're now somebody who talks about what you're doing when you're training, when you're fighting,
narrating.
When you're training and when you're fighting, like, I mean, it gets a little awkward when you're on the bus sitting there talking to yourself about what you're doing on your phone. But, just saying. But, but like when it comes to, training that mindset, like it is important that you're doing it even with people that you think you shouldn't have to do it with, right? Because those are the people we should be doing it the most with, because those are the guys you're going to be sharing the battlefield with. Like,
most definitely. I'll tell my dudes, I'll tell all my guys, like as soon as you get to the tournament, start talking to your friends. You get on it, you start getting your kid on, you're talking to your friends. Before you step in a list, you're talking to your buddies. As soon as you get in a list, you're talking to your buddies. And then you're fighting and you're talking to your buddies. Like
start fight isn't like, stop talking. Start fight isn't stop talking.
It's like as soon as we walk in a list, I'm like, yo, we're cool on that play. You ready? I'm stoked. You stoked? I got your back. I'm gonna watch the show. I'm fucking being a weirdo over here. You know what I mean? And you start just talking because you open that communication to bind the entity. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I'm yelling at my center like, Chris, I want the head on swivel. He's like, I got it. Like, you know what I mean? You're already warming it up. You want, because it's a weapon. The voice is a weapon. Because a lot of people don't understand that in Buhurt, you can be dead. In Buhurt International, at least, you can be dead, but you can still communicate.
Now you're a dead coach.
Yeah.
You can be down, and you can still tell your friend behind you, dude, turn around. Right. You're not allowed to talk to the enemy team or the marshals. It's considered unsportsmanlike conduct. But you are, even if you're dead, you're allowed to use your voice to help your team.
I love talking
it's a big
shit.
weapon.
You know what else is pretty cool? It's happening in real time up here, right? So like you're at home, you're training with your team, you're talking to them all the time, you're chatting them up in armor, you're just always getting used to like those conversations happen in armor. Now they know what voice to listen to on the field because they recognize your voice. They know what you're trying to say. They've heard you at your most tired. They've heard you when you're articulate. They can like bridge the gap because they know the kinds of stuff you say. They know the ways you talk. They know the ways that you communicate. So like practicing that communication skill, right, is how you create those, how do I put it, like more efficient opportunities to success, right? Because like if you run up,
you tie the neurons, you make a pathway to the neuron to your buddy, and then you're like able to communicate. Not only like
exactly,
you know what I mean? Exactly. It's good. It's really
so like we used to do the triple repeat cadence, where it'd be like pull, push, push. Like we would coach you'd say the same thing 3 times, right? And like people would start looking for that style of communication because a lot of the times, like in a good Buhurt match, you would have 10 people talking, right? So like if my opponent is talking and we're joking around and I'm like, I remember I'll fight a BJ and every time I line up against him, I'm like, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Like we're just talking about bullshit, you know? Yeah. But like, or hey buddy, how you doing? You know, like that conversation will get in the way of communicating a more effective, efficient, attack pattern, right? But if you're used to hearing that person, you can tune that other guy out. You know what voices not to listen to. So stuff like that, where it's like that kind of, that
we even make and I might be jumping a bit, but we even make just a team vocabulary list. Perfect. So it's like, okay, here's our Buhurt vocabulary list.
Oh,
and then it's like these are like the words that we're going to use, and this is what they mean. And a lot of them are very simple: push, pull, like feed behind, like get out, hit him. Right. Like very simple stuff. Like, but if everyone's using the same quick terms, then it just like you said, it's our language. Right. It's our vocabulary list. It's the words that we use.
You know what to listen for.
And then in the fray, you're like, oh, that's my guy. He's telling me, oh, that's the word we use. Yeah, I better do that thing.
Right. And like if you're the dude holding a guy from behind and like maybe your teammate goes for a grapple, but you want him to go for a strike. Maybe you were like opening up a plate. Maybe you knew the guy was like in a weird leg position and a strike's just going to be, whatever. A strike's going to be better. A leg pitch's going to be better. Like you can call to those things. Like you said, hit him. I'm holding him. The dude's tired as fuck. You're going to hit him. He's not going to move. You get to just tee off, right? So like the communication allows a significantly more intelligent fighting style too, because you're giving information that somebody couldn't have without a teammate. The teammate creates a new perspective that you now benefit from, and the more you talk, the better, the more quickly those neurons are firing back and forth. So that's good shit. So like it's cool that you're doing that, and then like because like I've heard it before, but you don't hear it often. You don't hear people like talking about the depth of that kind of thinking, that kind of culture.
The communication of the culture, and it starts just with a 1v1. It starts just with a 1v1, right? And be like, we're swimming. You want to tighten up? You want to do upper body grip? No, I'm tired. Okay, we'll keep swimming. You want to tighten up? Yeah, let's tighten up. You want to go full? Yeah, let's go full.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So start teaming at the base. And then so 1v1 without stuff, you're communicating, you're wrestling, attack, defense, you're playing shoulder knee. Then maybe 1v1, you get some gear. You have armor, you have soft kit, whatever, right? You finally have the gear. Some things you can do for striking. So say you're a duelist, and you want to focus on striking. We'll play a game called Block Strike a Lot, which is like an old phone fighting game where one person gets a swing, no fakes, no feints. One person gets a swing, the other person gets a block. As soon as they get a block, they get a swing. And it just creates this warm-up block, strike, block, strike, block, strike, and you use it as a hand warm-up. Then, so that's just a simple hand warm-up. You don't move your feet. You don't do any feints and fakes. One throw, one block. I can Brett Skinner, I think, actually has a video of an old one that maybe I'll dig up. I'll put in my notes to add in, because block strike's really good for hand-eye coordination with gear. And then for striking, for dueling type stuff, we'll play a game called Tag, which is just how it sounds. One person is it, the other person is on defense. As soon as you get tagged in a legal zone with the weapon, then you say, yep, because you got tagged, and now you're it. Does that make sense? So it's an attack defense back and forth game. just with sword and shield, sword and buckler. You can do a long sword, pole arm, whatever. And it's just a good warm-up game, nice and slow pace. So we'll start block strike, then go into tag. Then we'll play a game called 3 to 5 hit. And it's just you have 3 HP or 5 HP, because sometimes we do buckler, so we'll do 5 hit. And that is, we're just sparring. Now we're sparring, actively sparring. We each have 3 hit points. Anytime you get hit, you need to count out your number. 1, 2, block. 3, I'm dead, right? So, and then you're playing, but you each have 3 hit points. So they might hit me 1, but I get them, and they say 1, and then you're battling. And that way, because a lot of times what you see in people with striking, in my opinion, because we just do the timed rounds for most of our dueling, people think offense is the priority. They think that I'm trying to score more points than my opponent. But the way I try to teach people swordsmanship is it's not that you want to hit them more, it's you want to get hit less. Like, defense is actually more important than offense. You have to swing to score, but the truth is you lose by getting hit more. So just focus on getting hit less. And so if you give somebody, you're playing 3 hit, you get hit 3 times, you're dead. So it doesn't matter that you did a huge combo, because they blocked 2 of them and they lit you up. You want to focus on that exchange where you move in, you get them twice, and they only get you once. Then you're winning the exchange, because now they're at 2, you're at 1. And so you're learning defense is actually, like, they're on par. You want defense and high output, but in my opinion, you want to teach people how to protect themselves first, because if you didn't know how to protect yourself, then you have more opportunity to hit them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll play games like 3 to 5 hit. So we'll do block strike, tag, you're it, I'm it, you're it, I'm it. Then we'll go into spars and we'll do 3 to 5 hit. And then you're actually focused on, I'm trying to hit them, but I don't want to die either, because if they give me 3 times, I lose. And so people are a bit more paranoid again about getting hit, because we're training. I want people to be afraid of getting hit. Like, because that's where the damage happens. Like, and I always try to put our game in a shell that it is a game. It is a game. There are rules. This isn't war. A lot of people think, I'm a badass, I do steel fighting, I'm going to war. It's like, no, you're not going to war, dude.
You're going to go play a game.
There are rules. Yes, the game can be very dangerous and brutal within the rules. It's still a game, and you can still be safe, and you can still play by the rules, and, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to teach, but I want people to protect themselves, because the dangerous part of the game is getting blown up with a 2-handed axe, because you're like, I'm not gonna block it, bull.
Yeah. Like the time I remember when I was in Spain for IMCF, and it was like my first time like fighting 16s at these like really big like moments where everybody cared about winning so much, right? I'd done a lot of like steel training, steel practice, like local events where like winning was kind of, we're here to do better, right? And then I go to like parry a pole arm, like my brain just goes, oh yeah, and then like your hand just gets blown up, and you're like, oh. Now my hand sucks for the rest of the day. Like, I'm like, why did I do that? And like the guy I was parrying, because I was in a line, right? So the guy I was like parrying just moved. Like he wasn't even gonna get hit. Like, and you're just like, you know. And but like that's like what. So that's the thing. Like self-preservation is really important in Buhurt, and like sometimes like we get a little too lax with the armor. We get like we're gonna cool off a little bit in the middle of a grapple. Like, you know, when somebody goes lax and then like they bend over a little bit, and then that axe hits them right in the back where their like spine is creased on the plates. Like they go down in an instant. Like their legs turn to jelly. I've seen it. You know, like it's when you're not stressed about dying that you get injured, and like that was what you were explaining a little bit with like those drills and things like that, where you got to stay active. And the same thing goes with like weightlifting, powerlifting, like any sort of endurance work. Like if you let your core out, you're dead, you're injured, you're hurt, you're pulling something, you're straining something,
that's where
you're
your sciatica slips or something, is when you're like tired, fatigued, and you do the lift without technique and you get hurt.
Everything. And like, the same goes
more paranoid on the defense.
It's true. And the same goes for steel striking too, right? Like if you're getting so tired that you're only swinging with your arm, now you're exacerbating like in your elbow, in your shoulder. Like, you're not using the leg drive, you're not using your core torque. Like, you're injuring yourself by letting off, not necessarily the gas, but by letting off the fear, letting off the active, letting off the involved, letting off the in the moment, you know?
And I think that's why, like, training correctly from the very beginning is going to be so important, because you will, in your fatigue, you will default to your weakest training. Like, or what is the phrase? There is a phrase that goes with that. But, like, that happens. So, like, if you're training lazy, it's going to be way easier to be lazy in the list.
Yes. So,
and it's like I said at the beginning before, like, you know, like, just because you're tired doesn't mean you're going to be lazy. Like, everybody's tired.
Yeah.
But
when
you get lazy is when you get hurt. When you get lazy is when mistakes happen.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
I went for a throw once, or I went for a hump and bump. I turned my back. I was like, my teammates got him, no problem. 9 seconds later, I took a back of the calf shot, and it was bad. It was bad. I'll show you those pictures. She still cries about it to this day. I took two in succession fast enough. It was blinding white. But, like, here's why it happened is, like, I was like, you know what? We got this fight. Like, it's us two versus them two. My homie never goes down, and this is the one time he went down, and I was working on a dude just as big as I, and, like, you know, I had him, but I was taking my sweet time because I thought I had the moment, and all of a sudden, blinding white heat, my leg, you know? And it's like, that's how you get hurt, you know? Titanium armor works really well. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, look at John. You ever seen Johnny Porter fight? Of course you have. He's always running around like a crazy maniac, like freaking dodging everything, blocking everything. Like, he's getting out of the way. He's shirking. He's letting his armor do what it's supposed to do, which is be a moving part, right? Because, like, the plates overlapping and things moving off the curvature of the plates are what keep you safe. Not necessarily like you're a tank. You know, you got, like, the best thing ever, right?
Yeah.
Like I wear mostly titanium.
Hurt.
Exactly, but I wear.
Hurt. You know? It still hurts.
It does, but, like, when you know where it's gonna hit, you know, exactly, right? Like, you know, you take a over the head strike, but instead of it being like a nail straight into the floor, like, you're letting it go off the curve into your shoulder and then off, and now it's a little bit lost here, a little bit of force lost here, a little bit of force, whatever, you know. And then where they wanted to hit, they can't just swing all down into it. They have to adjust their power to the new angle, right? And, like, stuff like that. So when you're paying attention to defense, you know, when you're blocking, when you're moving, when you're getting, so, like, one thing we like to, when you're getting out of the way, you're reducing damage. Being paranoid is valuable, right? Like, one thing I talk about when striking is if you move away from the vertex of their weapon, it takes longer for the weapon to hit you. If you move closer to the weapon, it takes less time.
You're into it.
Right? So, like, if you're right in the sweet spot, it hurts. They know when to whip it. They know when to snap you. But, like, if you're taking your 45s away from their striking arm, now, like, they might even miss the beat because you're stepping out and back rather than, like, torque,
kind of
stuff like that.
Kind of training, kind of like learning and training with the defensive core before an offensive one. It also gives longevity to your fighting career. Like, if you're like being defensive is like you're prioritizing your own safety, which like, you know what I mean, over hurting somebody or whatever you're trying to do. Like, and that defense will translate to be like, oh, I've, like, taken care of myself. I can do this longer because I'm paranoid. I'm defensive. I'm, like, watching out for my teammates, like, all that kind of stuff, you know?
It's true.
Okay, so then your 1v1, 1v1 striking, you can do all those fun drills. Block strike. You can do 3-hit to 5-hit. You can do tag. You can do all that stuff just to warm up your striking stuff, right?
This is soft kit, right? Just real quick, soft kit.
This is soft kit or in steel. Soft kit or in steel. Okay. You can translate all this stuff, soft kit or steel. Just block strike, tag, attack, defense, or 3-hit, 5-hit, whatever, for dueling type stuff. Then if we wanted to go, say we wanted to go into, like, and we're still 1v1, but now we have equipment. Say we want to go into the Outrance Buhurt arena, then we'll kind of lock in. I'll go back to attack defense. Me and Craig back in Seattle, Craig Michael Ivey, back in Seattle when I lived there forever ago. It was just me and him training like 5 days a week, and we would just meet up and do attack defense like every day. We started attack defense, one person just sword, the other person's on defense. I'm trying to hit him with my sword. He's defending it. Then he'll go, I'll go. Then we'll add in hands. So now we'll add in shield punches, light hand punches with sword. Then he'll go, I'll go. Then attack defense, we'll add in kicks. So now we have sword, hands, and light kicks, light knees, attack defense. Then we'll do dirty boxing, which in our gym just means all striking. So hands, sword, knees, legs, with upper body wrestling. So no leg takedowns. So dirty boxing, I can get you in like a headlock and like punch you in the head or whatever, and you're like getting out of it, but no takedowns. And then you can do light attack defense with that dirty boxing. Then you can introduce, depending on if you're doing Buhurt, you can introduce attack defense, closing strike, whatever strike you want to do, to grab, to light takedown, like throw, like a Soto or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do attack defense. I'm going to do a combo, then a Soto. Okay, go ahead.
That's the
and
attack.
Then they do that for a minute.
Right.
Yeah, they do that for a minute, and then you do it to them for a minute. Practicing your break falls if you're on the defense, of course, because you're hitting the ground. And then we'll do recently in our Outrance class, we've been doing a really fun one where we will do attack defense, but on that from the ground to standing, right? So it'll start, if me and Xander, we were doing it, I'd be on the attack, you'd be on the defense. So I would open on you just really lightly. I'd do like an Asoto. Once you touch the ground, your objectives as the defense, because we're doing outrance now, your objective as the defense is to either stand up, because that's the best thing to do if you hit the ground in outrance, stand up, counter throw. So stand up, you either stand up or you counter throw me. So you grab me in a way, like get my leg and roll over on top of me, or you negate me by pulling me, right? So that I can't score any strikes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we stand. So your objective as the defense is to stand, reverse, or like octopus, like just hold. My job as the attacker, the person who's standing, is I'm trying to lightly, because it is training, lightly obtain points on the ground, because that's the goal of outrance, right? I'm trying to score first.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm lightly trying to obtain points, and then I'm trying to control you on the ground from your objectives of standing, reversing, or octopusing. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's fun, because then it's this attack defense, but now you're training that outrance element that isn't in Buhurt, that standing to ground, like that environment that can be very foreign. We will also do like attack defense where maybe I get in half mount. You're on the ground, I get in half mount. And then from this half mount, I'm trying to defend and hold you, and you're just trying to get your hips out and stand. So you can do this attack defense like pretty religiously 1v1, and like really safely kind of scale in and build in. Let's start with sword, then hands, then kicks. Okay, now let's do ground throws. Now let's do some outrance, right? You can do attack defense on the rail. So say you have a rail. One person is on attack, so they are doing the throws. The other person is on defense. So they're being square hipped, but they are trying to step out of the throw. But if they go down, that's okay. And so you can attack defense rail throws, attack defense open field throws, attack defense outrance ground fighting to stand, attack defense all striking. So we do a lot of attack defense 1v1, especially for certain skill sets and to kind of like pace class out. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool. So just 1v1. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at my
You got the notebook.
So 1v1. yeah, notebook. So 1v1, you can do a lot. You can at 1v1, you can do a lot with like wrestling and kind of shoulder knee striking, and then introduce gear, and then work a lot on like your dueling, and then work on your attack defense with punches, kicks, ground fighting, and then of course you can just go into spars, and you can go into spar rounds. And with the spar rounds, you can put objectives. You can be like, oh, we're only doing sword striking. Oh, the spar rounds. Oh, we're only doing full striking, so no grappling. So hands, sword, kicks, knees, just no grappling. Dirty boxing, Buhurt style sparring, or outrance style sparring. So when I do sparring, because we usually have a lot of different body variants and skill levels, whatever, I'll be like, okay, we're going into sparring. We're going to do 30 minutes of sparring. It's going to be 90-second rounds with 30-second breaks, whatever you want to do, however long you want your rounds to be. And then I'll be like, get with your partner. And again, the consent, talk to your partner about what sparring they want to do. And because even if we're in a Buhurt class and everyone's doing Buhurt sparring, maybe your shoulder's hurt. Maybe you just want to do sword sparring. That's fine. If you want to do Outron sparring, I make people go to this other spot in our gym just so nobody steps on them. But so if me and Carly were about to spar, I'd come up to Carly and I'd be like, Carly, what kind of spars do you want to do? Do you want to do sword, full striking, dirty boxing, Buhurt, or Outrons?
I'd be like, you're not ready for me.
Okay.
No, jokes. But
and that's all it'd be. You just walk up and you'd ask, what kind of sparring you want to do? And they'd be like, oh, I want to do full striking, no grappling. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then even in that spar, you could decide halfway through the full striking, you know what, let's do some dirty boxing. And you're like, all right. And you start adding in grapples. And then maybe into that, you're like, let's end with some full, 10 seconds full, 10 seconds full. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's all just about that communication and that environment and that 1v1. And what else do I got? So striking. Yeah, boring. Cool. All right. So 1v1's cool. You can do a lot with just another person and some gear. You can do you can train then everything minus the field, a lot of the field elements of the game. You can train pretty much everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then so we've done single person, then we've done 1v1. I don't know how we're on time. Are we crazy on time?
Oh, you keep
I'm
going.
A rambler.
Don't worry.
You can keep going. You're good.
I'll shut you down.
1v1, and now we've finally added a third person. Menage a trois. So we finally have 3 people. Holy crap, this is gonna be crazy. 3 people is great. 3 people is great because if you look at a lot of Buhurt fights, the first act, the line comes together. The first act transitions once either one person falls or there's a massive field movement. So it's either 5v5 first act, the center cuts, bashes their center. We have now gone into the second act, or 5v5, their center runs by and now everyone flushes to the rail. Even though there's not a death, the whole field has changed. Now we're in the second act. In the second and third act of a Buhurt fight, you are going to see primarily 2v1s and 2v2s, just along the rail and maybe some in the open. So that kind of means that just with that added third person, that 2v1, you can now train a huge portion of Buhurt, a huge portion of Buhurt. You can do all the striking. You can do a miniature tournament if you wanted to, if you're just doing dueling. You can do outrance rounds where each person does 60 seconds. So each person does 60 seconds back to back, and then on their third one, they get to rest. You can do a lot of outrance, a lot of striking, and just keep rotating and have the versatility of it, attack, defense, whatever. But really, 2v1s, the best part of it is now you can start practicing a bunch of your partner takedowns, your partner team communication takedowns. And also, as the individual, how to fight 2 people at once. You know what I mean?
Which is the unique
Buhurt
part
unique,
of
yeah.
Buhurt. There's no other sport that does that.
Yeah, it's insane. No other sport in the world do they have weapons. And I'm getting a little off topic, but Buhurt is dueling, outrance, armored MMA, and then the field game, right? But those first 2, dueling and outrance, those are martial arts. Those are just 1v1 martial arts. It's just standard martial art. And then Buhurt, you add in this a field game element with these martial art rules and stipulations. There's no other sport in the world, in my opinion, that does it. I can't think of another sport. The objective isn't a ball. The objective is the other team, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I got off topic. So it's cool because it's the
very
only
on
sport where it's a
topic.
martial
That's literally
field
the
game.
topic. So
Literally.
A martial art field game. But things you can do in a 2v1. You can practice attack, defense with 2v1 takedowns. So that can be me and Carly are okay, we're gonna battle Xander, and we're either gonna practice, we're either gonna do open field partner takedowns, or we'll do on list takedowns. With the attack defense, it's usually and you can have a conversation before. Usually attack defense is just a drill. So Xander, he's maximum giving 50% resistance, but really what he's doing is once you kind of get something, he's letting you take it to the end, right? To finish the completion of the hump and bump.
It's not
finish
live
the
rounds,
completion of. Yeah. It's not a live round. You're going through the reps of the 2v1. So me and Carly would be like, okay, let's work on a hump and bump. Carly, you push his shoulder flat. Cool. I'm hump and bumping. Push into it. And we're working on the communication and the takedown. So maybe the focus of the attack defense with the 2v1 is partner versus the one. And then sometimes sorry, I'll get right to you. Sometimes the focus is the one staying alive. And that is just simply the two are going to go through a series of movements to be like, we're going to try to hump and bump you. You slowly, you focus on stepping out, turning your hips, disengaging, and kind of giving the person who's the one the opportunity to figure out how to survive in a 2v1. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Sorry, Carly, I know you're going to say.
No, that's okay. My question was going to be, and something that we might want to flesh out now, is does a group of people, like say like there's 3 schmoes and they're like in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska, and they can't get out to Omaha's armor combat group. I know that there is one out there, but like doesn't matter. You're in a bubble. You only have 3 people that you can get to. Do they need to know what hump and bump means? Do they need to know these moves to practice first? Or should they just be experimenting together?
Well, they could totally. I always think they should experiment, but they should also be looking at like external stuff,
research.
And I know there is a lot of stuff. For me, like standard ones we do are hump and bump, so flatten out. So you flatten out your opponent. We'll do like a standard headlock. Yeah, against the list. We'll do like a standard like headlock and how to assist in a headlock takedown with like a hip pull or an Indiana Jones.
Yeah, like the
guillotine
type situation.
Yeah, guillotine.
So what we would recommend to somebody who's watching, like, hey,
if they don't know,
go and find these videos. There are a lot of videos out there that show you what these things are. Like hump and bumps one, Indiana Jones is another one.
Yeah.
Sotogar.
And honestly, if people have questions, like they can directly message me. Because I myself have recorded a lot of this stuff in the past.
Everybody call Collin.
Yeah, if you're like, hey, dude, how do you do a team assist like headlock throw? Hey, dude, how do you do like what happens if one of us has a leg grab? What should we do? It's like feeding, the art of feeding. Like I'm feeding head, feed me head. Like I've got feeding his shield arm. I've grabbed his shield. Cool. Because we use feeding a lot as just a term that I'm giving you something or I want something. Mm-hmm. Like feed me this. I'm feeding you this.
Right.
But yes, that's a great point in the beginning. If you have 3 people and you're like, what should we do? Start looking at resources for rail takedowns, open field takedowns, and then things that you can do. Build a communication list. I'd be like, okay, what vocabulary do we want to use to take this person out? And then with that list, and this is another little Jake Taylor drill. We play a game called Simon Says. So Simon Says. So if that was the scenario, maybe me and Carlin on a team and Xander's the one, right? And then I would turn and I'd say, Carly, I'm going to be Simon. And you'd be like, okay, cool. And that would just mean that I am the one driving the conversation. So I'd tell Carly, like, go behind him, feed me his head. And Carly, she's still communicating, but she's either saying yes or no. She's either like, I'm feeding head or I can't get his head. But I'm the one driving the scenario. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
So that you start learning. So then you have this Simon Says game where it's like Xander's in front of us and we start here. And you can do this open field too. We can be open field. And then I'd be like, okay, we're walking up. And I'm like, Carly, like go faster on the left. Grab his shield. And you grab his shield. I've got his shield. Okay, I'm coming in. I've got his sword arm. Okay, let's take him forward. And in our club, we say forward, backwards. But when we say it, we're referring to our enemy's body and space-time. So that way we can be facing different directions and working on the same opponent. And yet Carly can be like, bring him backwards. And I know that we're fighting to put the opponent on his back. Right. And maybe we're like looking in different directions, but Carly's like, put him back. And I'm like, okay, we're working backwards. And we use this Simon Says drill to be like, okay, Carly, move on the left, grab his shield. I've got his shield. Okay, I've got his arm. Let's bring him forward. Pull. And you get him down.
Right.
And then you use this Simon drill. And I think that Simon Says drill like Carly was saying, you'll start to organically, even if you don't know anything about two people fighting one person, you'll start seeing organically things that are working and things that aren't working. And then you talk to your friends like, I had a shield, but he kept like turning around. And it's like, oh, maybe I need to lean on him more so he can't move. And it's like, yeah, maybe try that. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? And then the community, and then everybody also gets a turn leading the charge and then being a good soldier, like being like, I can't get his arm, like communicating to your commanding officer, the Simon. Right?
I'm trapped. Give me, help me out.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Get your head out.
Be a soldier. Yeah.
Turn around.
That's good.
You can also do this drill where me and Carly on the team again, but maybe Carly starts in a headlock. She starts in a bad position. And I have to come as the Simon. And look at the situation and then be like, okay, start peeling your arm, be like, Carly, stand up. And it get my partner out through my Simon says, I'm up. And then we move to the objective to take down whatever it is. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
You can do this kind of Simon Says style takedown drill. Simon Says partner style, bless you, style takedown drill with equipment, without equipment, in steel, in foam, whatever you're trying to do, 2v1.
Mm-hmm.
So just Simon Says 2 versus 1. One person's driving and it's a partner takedown initiative. You can spice this drill up if you have a fourth person, maybe somebody who's a non-com, even somebody who's just there, like hang out like a boyfriend who's like a loser on the side, like just playing his Pokemon Go game.
Yo, get over there.
You can give him like a two-handed like soft kit pole arm or whatever, and then he will just walk around lightly. And if the pair don't make eye contact with him about every 3 to 5 seconds, he'll just give him a little tap so that they need to adjust and look at him. When they look at him, he'll back away. But if they get too in their tunnel vision and they're getting too paranoid, then you give them a little tap.
That's really cool.
That is so good. That is good.
So you're like, now you start communicating just without a floater striker. And then once you get better at your vocabulary and you're feeling more confident with your partners communicating, Simon Says, then you add in a floating striker to, again, make you more paranoid, to add in a paranoid factor where, okay, we need to do this communication, but we need to do it under a little more paranoid, which is like more realistic. You know what I mean? Just as another layer you can add.
Well, and you got to get, don't die. And you got to get people like used to the like 3 seconds check, 3 seconds check, 2 seconds check, 1 second check. Like, you gotta be checking, and you gotta be able to say, if I look and I see a 2v2 on the opposite side of the list, like, yes, I can zone in for like 2-3 seconds. Look, oh, they haven't done anything. Zone in 2-3 seconds. Look, okay, oh crap, I got complacent. Halberd. You know what I mean? Like that's how you get hit. You know, no matter how far away they are, you'll lose track of time if you're not paying attention.
To expand on that a little bit, like that's how I train. Like when I do my PAL work, like it's 2 strikes. Turn around, check. Like I would identify 2 to 3 items in my vicinity that I needed to 1, 2, 3, and then go back and do another one. Like
no, that's perfect. Yeah, because that's what, like the 2 second head check. I tell people with a one-handed weapon, 2 swings. Look, with a big two-handed weapon, depending on how fast you're swinging it, one swing.
Yeah,
I'm really fast, so I do too.
Swing. That's good. That's good. No, and that's fine. And it's fun as long as again staying paranoid.
Right. Yeah.
And then so then you can do, and then of course all this partner drilling takedowns. So you can be like, okay, let's work on a hump and bump. Let's work on a headlock assist. Let's work on feeding. Let's work on like one of us gets a leg grab. What kind of stuff can we do? Kind of things. And you can work on this like pacing out with another person with your communication, all this stuff. And then a fun one we like to do. So we'll say, again, me and Carly are on a team. So I would go over. I would start over. Me and Xander would go on to one side of the list. And we would start in a position. Like I'm already attempting a hump and bump on you. I'm already attempting a headlock on you. I'm already attempting, like, I'm maybe even setting up a feed already or something, right? And then what we'll do is I'll be the coach. Carly will have her back turned to the 2. Oh, maybe this is where I use my thing.
Yeah, use your whiteboard.
So you got 2 homies fighting. you got two homies fighting, you got your fourth person coaching, and then your third fighter is turning the other way. Yeah, Buhurt.
Yeah, perfect. Because you'd have one person here, and their back is turned. So they're looking this way.
Yeah.
And you have two people here on the list. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This person's the bad guy. This person's the bad guy. These
No, wait,
two
we don't
guys are
use
on
that
the-
vocab.
Your partner.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Training
Sorry,
buddy.
sorry.
Homie.
Sorry. This guy's the training partner you're trying to take down. Thank you. And then what Carly's going to do, right? Because me and Xander might be over here. I get him in a headlock. Say, I just get him in a standard headlock. Right? Boom. Me and Carly on a team. Carly, I'm going to be the coach. And I'm going to say to the people on the rail, get in a position, take down position. I get Xander in a headlock. Carly, then I will turn to her and say, turn. And you will turn and immediately have about 5 to 10 seconds max to turn, scan the situation through body language of your partner. You are recognizing their objective. She turns, she says, oh, Collin has Xander in a headlock. Collin is trying to headlock throw him. She will then run up and as fast as she can, assist me with the takedown. So I call it your partner recognition drill, where you turn around and you recognize just through visuals, not even any octaves, you recognize through visuals what your partner's objective is, and then immediately how to assist in it. So what I'll normally do, and so like Carly would be turned, I'd get Xander in a headlock, Carly turn, and Carly turns. Right when she turns, she will run up. And she'll say, I'm here. I'm on his hips or whatever, however she wants to assist. I'm on his hips. Throw him. And then I will throw and she will assist.
Right.
And then maybe she goes back. She turns around again. And then maybe me and Xander, this time I flatten him out like I'm attempting a hump and bump, right? Like I just flatten him out. And I'll say, Carly, turn. And she'll turn. And right away, she'll say, he's trying to hump and bump. And she'll run up. I'm here. Hump and bump. I'm pushing. And instantly, so a fun thing to do. So you're recognizing what your partner through body language is trying to do, and then immediately try to assist in it.
That's
so
good.
because that like it can be crazy like that in Buhurt's a lot, where you're like fighting a guy over here and like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And you turn around and I run up, I'm like, oh, Carly's trying to fucking head drag him. I'm gonna jump on his back. She's head dragging. I'm jumping on his back. And instantly identify what Carly's objective is, and then how to assist in it, like to make it like fast, right? So that you're an entity that like you're not only like communicating verbally, but now through the visualization of it, you're like, oh, that's Carly's objective, and I know how to help her without right away. Right. Just through
practice.
this drill. Yeah. And so you can drill just like once you've gotten the communication down, you've worked through the mechanics of how you want to do the 2-on-1 takedowns. Now you can start putting it into like a live fire where it just turn around. Here's the scenario. Go. And put a little of this fun pressure on it, right?
Right.
Because, of course, there's more pressure, so people will make mistakes. But that's okay because it's training, and that's where you should make mistakes. And it's like, oh, Carly, you came in here, and like he was trying to do the headlock, but you were kind of grabbing his leg, and you see how it like kind of helped him stay up. You try it this time, next time. Try to maybe block the leg or whatever, And so in that environment, you can kind of safely dissect. These are the most efficient ways to assist in these certain takedowns, where these kind of ways maybe hinder your partner more, right? So it's cool. So you can kind of learn
rapid fire, so you can find out quick.
Well, usually what I'll do is I'll have because we have this square list. I'll have a pair on one side, a pair on the other, and then I'll make the two people face each other. And then at the 2 ones. And I'm like, one's ready, and they're like, yep. And I'm like, partners in their position, and they're like, yep. And I'll say, turn, and I'll like, and they're like, whoa, like,
that's
fun because people are like,
get them playing patty cake. Get them playing patty cake while they wait.
Yeah. But the thing you can do also, because partner takedown isn't always wrestling, right? Like maybe it's S-Ride. And I have a dude in a headlock. Sam's going to run up. And like the drill isn't to actually hit, but Sam's going to run up and he's going to pretend like he's doing a couple big haymakers. And then, and then I do the throw. I finish the throw. Because in a real fight, that's probably what would happen.
Right.
I'm got the dude in a headlock or I'm like head ripping the guy.
Right.
And Sam runs up and just hits him playing in the sternum
with
the two-handed axe. I'm like, That's easy. Like,
yeah, his soul
but
leaves
then,
his
you know what I
body.
mean?
That's
So
it.
like,
Oh, can I touch on you were saying he's pretending to do like these big haymakers. Like it's important to note that he is not actually following through on these strikes in practice.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and that's something that's very helpful, especially when it comes to two-handed axes. They're big, they're heavy, they do damage. So going through, like, you can still go through the full motion. Like, I tell people to do this, not everybody fucking listens, but like I'm like, just act like you're going in slow motion. It requires your training buddies to react as if it's real. Like, you don't have to like drop to the floor, but like cringe away, pull away, react, do something, you know. But like, yeah, like,
well, exactly, because in training it's always going to get hyped. So I will always try to keep guardrails, like certain guardrails, until the last 10 minutes of sparring, where it's like, okay, now you can go into your sparring, or your 20 minutes of sparring. Now you can go into your sparring, just communicate with your partner on level. But like throughout the drill, if someone's actually hitting hard in the big drill, I'm like, yo, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just call them up. It doesn't have to be a dick thing. It doesn't have to be angry. But you're like, hey, chill.
yeah.
You're doing fine. You're just amped up. That's okay. Chill. But no, I fully agree. And then another fun thing you can do with 3 people is you can work on like setting up drive cut bash. So maybe you're like, you know, me and Carly start on the rail, and then Carly drives me back and then cuts, and then maybe Xander's standing in the middle, right? So it's like, maybe we're here.
Yeah, draw it out for us.
Maybe we're here. Yeah. Maybe we're here on the side of the rail, and me and Carly are here.
Okay.
And then Carly is going to drive me, and Xander's over here with a pad, right? A pad or even a shield. They're just standing there. And Carly can work on her pushes to cut. So push me back and then cut, and work on transitioning from movement of off the list or off the float into the open, and trying your bashes, your kicks, your knees in the open.
So is that for
driving,
like
hitting drill?
So in this drill though, like, I'm playing one side of this practice, and you two are playing each, like.
I'm just a dummy in this circle. I'm just there to be your bag to hit.
Yeah, we'd be dummies. I'd be like on the list, and you'd have to drive me back. And then at a certain point, you would cut, and Xander would pretend like he's a center that's not paying attention.
Right.
And you'd run up and give him your little thing. So you can practice kind of your transition from rail to in, right?
That's one I need. That's what I'm working on.
That's good stuff.
I'm working on disengaging.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of fun things.
And then,
a
like,
lot of fun things.
When you add the 4th person in, if they're not actively participating in the drill as like an athletic participant or like maybe a fighting participant, like they can be the director. Like that person can be like the cut, or like Carly, push, cut, and then like boom, you set the pace, you set the cadence, you know, or you're telling them to turn around, or you're being that 4th dude, giving those like, hey, are you paying attention? This is a soft kit sword that all you're gonna do is like, it's gonna sound like little like. But, like, you're not going to hurt nobody, but you're hitting them, right? Like, they know you're there, you know? So, it's good stuff. Like, I love it. This is great.
So, that's just some 2v1 stuff. You can do a lot. With 2v1. Practice open field, on list, like a bunch of that stuff. And now, you finally have gotten a 4th person. Oh, my God.
You have 3 friends.
So now you can like certain drilling you can do. And of course in the 2v1s, you can go into full 2v1 spars. You can go, sorry, I should have touched on that. With the 2v1s, you can go into full 2v1 spars, open field, on rail, whatever. I usually do in the 2v1 spars, as soon as one person falls, the round's over. Just so that it's not one person falls and then 2 people just sit there and go,
like all day.
And like save the energy for the drilling, you know, save the energy for the drilling. And then that way, when you go into the actual spars of it, the one person is trying to take down at least one of you, because that's like their objective. Because if they can do that, then they're doing really well. And then the 2 people, of course, are trying to take the one down. And you can like scale it out. You can also, recently we've been giving people, because of like having Sam back in the mix and stuff, it's really good. Because I'm kind of like a brute, like Buhurter, like wrestler first. I'll strike, but like, you know what I mean? My primary is to wrestle. Where Sam's primary is striker. So he's trying to hit, move, kite. Wrestling is his like final thing, right? That he wants to be doing, a final attribute. But so recently what I've been doing, you could do this in a 2v1 as well, is you just designate one person as the striker. And if you are a striker, you can only hit kite, which means like draw someone's attention. Because even if you're drawing one person's attention and they're not engaged in the fight, you're still drawing their attention. You're still doing your job.
Now the other guy's
so
like flanking you, you know.
You hit them, they don't like it, and then they look at you and you kite them. You're doing your job. You're doing your job. And then third, you can assist. So you can hit, kite, and assist. And that means the way that we've been doing it is you can't wrestle for longer than 3 seconds at a time. So if you're a striker, you can only hit, move, kite, assist, and you can only wrestle for 3 seconds at a time. Because me as a bigger guy, and we have like varying sizes, we'd have like smaller guys that are strikers that I'm like, no, you can't be wrestling him. You need to be hitting him. But because it's do as I say, not as I do, they see me say, you can't wrestle him, you have to hit him. And then I turn around, just grab a guy and throw him. And they're like, well, I want to do that. But then having Sam back in the mix, they realize like, oh, his striking, his movement, his passive throws, his assists, his 3 seconds of wrestling, and him being really good at getting out of any bad wrestling position to then go back to striking and kiting and
Staying
assisting.
free, yeah.
They started really seeing it and being like, whoa, that's how I should play it. And then so now I've kind of formulated like rules around it where it's like, okay, if you're in a 2v2, you're in a 2v2. And then what we were doing yesterday, you're in a 2v2, and then just assign one of them as the striker. And then your striker, he can only do what I said. Like I said, he can only hit, kite, assist, wrestle 3 seconds at max. As soon as one person dies in that 2v2, round's over.
Right,
just to save the energy for the teamwork. Yeah, just to save the energy for the teamwork and all that stuff.
That's cool.
But I've been introducing that. Like, you guys are wrestlers, one striker. Okay, striker, you know your job. Just to allow them to have an environment to train your striking attributes. You know what I mean? Sorry, cool. I got a little head. I got really excited about the striker rule set that I've been fucking with at practice recently. I'm like, because I'm seeing a lot of people because it forces them to work on those assets, and that you see them start benefiting from it because it's like great assist takedown, great get out of the wrestle, and now he's sitting there hitting the guy. It's like, yeah. Like, it's really cool. But anyway, that's just a fun thing you can do. 2v2, just assign someone as a striker, and then they can only wrestle 3 seconds at a time, whatever. Things you can do 2v2 for drilling, you can focus, like I was talking about first, second, third act. We focus a lot on that first act transition. So those plays where it's 2v2 on the rail. So we'll do on the rail, 2v2. One person's driving, and then you're always attacking the railman, going for your hump and bump. We call it the hump and bump, a push-pull where you drive the floater back, and then your floater turns and head rips the railman, and the railman's setting up for the head rip. You can do a lot of these 2v2 open play drills that we'll do, where it's like, okay, our side's doing the drill, me and Carly are doing the drill, Xander and Invisible Man are on the other side. Okay, Carly, you're the floater, so you're going to drive. Let's do the hump and bump, and we'll run through the drill. We'll run through the drill, and then Xander and Invisible Man, okay, your turn. You guys do your, opener on the rail. And then we've been doing a lot of open field as well. So it's like you'll have the center and, the floater, the center and the floater. So I call it railman, floater, center, floater, railman. It's just the way that I like the terms that I use.
Pick up your own shit in Australia. You're like, we don't use the other structure, okay?
Yeah, everybody has all these weird words. Yeah. But you can train rail openers 2v2, and then you can train center floater openers 2v2. So it's like if I wanted to set up a bash for Carly and she's the floater, I would just pretend to shift wide, and then Carly would come in this way, boom, and bash him, and we just work on floater center setups. A lot, and we'll drill those a lot 2v2. You can do a lot of that 2v2. And then all these fun games. You can do a crap ton of fun games with 2v2. So just like I was saying, back to the striking. So you have 2v2, and we've been doing striking. We've been playing 3-hit, right? Do 3-hit, but 2v2. If you get hit 3 times, you're dead. And then you can scale that so that you can have 10 people in soft kit, 10 people in soft kit, and you're all playing 3 hit. And now you've taken that shoulder knee field game, and now you've added gear to it. So now there's another level of intensity, and now you're adding gear, but you're playing 3 hit with the gear, right? So you can do these striking games with like the group.
You're teaching people to defend themselves as well, like because a lot of the times
defend themselves
melee,
and flattening a lot
right.
of people at once, and like being paranoid. And there's like shit running around everywhere. And then you can do all these fun Buhurt style ones where we will do like it'll be perfect. Gosh dang, dude, where's my little thing? Just tell me if I'm rambling, dude. Just yell at me.
You're giving us so much good stuff. We're like, why would we stop you?
Okay, so you have
it's like 85 degrees out there. You're sweating bullets. I could tell. We're just sitting over here. It's cold. Okay, go ahead. You're perfect.
Well, I'm also getting amped.
You're perfect.
Yeah.
So say you have 2v2, but what I'll do is I'll put one person on each side, and these guys are on a team. These guys are on a team. These guys are on a team, but they're in their 1v1s here first. So I'll take 2 people, and it'll start out as 1v1, 1v1. But as soon as one of these people take out the other person, they can then go over and assist their teammate. So it starts 1v1 versus 1v1, but as soon as one person goes down, it becomes a 2v1. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that way it's fun because then you're kind of focusing on with that drill, you're trying to focus on getting your kind of kill quickly in your 1v1 to then go to your 2v1 assist. And then in 2v1s, I always do, I might sometimes do to full finish, but normally in the 2v1, as soon as one more person falls, it's over. Because if one of the 2 falls, then there was a mistake that happened and your team deserves to lose. Does that make sense?
Right. If you're in a 2v1
like if there's
and
one of you and one of them and he kills one of you, you guys got lazy. So you deserve to lose. The 1 wins. So I always stop it. I don't ever finish it out on a 2v1 because it's like, no, the 2 should be winning. If one of the 2 falls, like you guys made a mistake. Like you guys should have been working together, protecting each other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Theoretically. So that's why I tend to stop it. So that drill's fun because it's a 1v1 to 2v1. And then it kind of creates this fun environment where you're trying to get your kill as fast as you can so that you're not the one getting 2v1'd and you're like, shit, no. Like, no, Xander. Oh, and I'm playing Carly and Xander. Oh, no. So that's a fun one to do. You can do, what's the other one? 2v2,
Here,
first and second.
I got an idea to add. Oh, you got one? Okay, go. I was like, I can add to
go
that.
ahead.
So like you could add your striker rule to the kind of drill too, where you have one side are strikers and the other side are grapplers, and then the strikers are trying to peel away to put in an effective strike, but then defend against the other guy chasing them. Because like how often do you run up, get an attack, but then know somebody's right behind you? You have to make sure you know what's going to happen.
So you have to keep moving.
Something like that could be fun.
See, that's it. You know? That's why all this stuff is fun because you can start kind of taking parts of all these little games and kind of putting them together, and then like you have these like these insane games that you're actually like, oh wow, I'm actually like teaching people a sword fight, but they just think it's like this fried like funny weird phone fight.
What is Collin up to? He's crazy. I know how to sword fight. I didn't know. This is crazy.
And then like I already talked about, you can do the striking game, the 3 to 5 hit, and have a striking game. You can do the Buhurt 2 to 1. You can do 2v2 Buhurts and designate one of them as a striker, or just have both people just do whatever. But in a 2v, a lot of times in 2v2, as soon as one person dies, I'll just stop it because what I'll see in a lot of 2v2s, if you don't put kind of a stop stipulation on it, is people will get so invested in their own individual 1v1 that they won't think about their partner very much. But then if you make the rule of the game is if your partner falls, your whole team loses.
Right.
Then it makes it more realistic to the situation because you'll be in your 1v1 and they're like, oh, fuck, what's Xander doing? Oh, shit, Carly's killing him. And I'll be like, oh, I need to get over there. Like,
Then you got to break free of this shit.
I need to save my friend.
Right. You got to break free of the grapple you're stuck in. Maybe they were like maybe they were like locking you down because they know their teammate is like really effective in 1v1 takedowns. And all of a sudden you see your homie is dying. You're like, frick, I gotta get out of this. And then the guy's like, nah, I'm holding you here, you know. And then then it's real.
Yeah,
It's like it's more like that
yeah.
drill where what we see happen so often in Buhurt, right? Where you'll get those moments where you're like, whatever I was doing is way less useful than going to save my teammate right now, and you'll be stuck. You'll be on the opposite side, maybe, and that'll get you to like faint over that way more soon, or maybe not get so locked into a grapple like that you probably shouldn't have gotten locked into. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
Yeah. And then so there's a lot you can do at 2v2, but then finally you've gotten more than 2v2. You might have a fifth person or exponential. Exponential.
So many friends.
Whoa.
It happens.
Huge classes.
Dreams do come true.
At this point, a lot of drilling. You can if we have a full enough people for a full 5v5, because a lot of times when people first start doing Buhurt, they don't know, like, if you don't have like a coach or something who's like, okay, you're on this side, you guys do this play, you guys like look out for this thing. They don't know how to like formulate with their team the quick plan, right? The first like 5-second plan. So I'll get people and I'll show them. I'll be like, okay, there's 5 versus 5. If I was the captain of this team, I would come over and I'd go to this side and be like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, we're gonna go for a hump and bump. That rail's gonna go for the hump and bump open play. And then I'll turn to the center, be like, what do you want to do? He's like, I'm gonna set up a bash for the other side. And it's like, perfect. And I'll literally walk people through. I will make them lay out a plan for their team. Even if it's just like that side's defensive, this side's gonna try a hump and bump. Perfect. You know what I mean? Center's holding. Perfect. And I will make them each come together, make your little plan, and then I'll make them do walking Buhurt. They will execute said plan and then stop. No takedowns or anything. I will just have people do walking Buhurt. They will do a mock open play, whether they're doing open field or open rail or
just
a
stage
mix.
1, just that first phase.
Yep,
of the
stage
Buhurt.
1, first act takedown, and I'll make them I'll make them set up their team and the plan. I tell my team never plan for anything longer than 5 seconds because it'll all go to shit. Yeah. After 5 seconds, it'll all go into team communication and 2v1s.
Yeah,
2v1s.
I say you just call that good Buhurt. Like once you're past like that initiation tactics.
Yeah, so you call it initiation tactic.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Yeah, first act play. Yeah, first act exactly.
But
it's
then
like
you just
first act play.
Then you just do good Buhurt. Like we're in the good Buhurt phase. You just got to be the better Buhurters. Like
just field scanning, talk to your partner, work with objectives. Yeah. That 2v1, all that 2v1 training we fucking did is finally paying off. So I'll make people just kind of formulate the plan and then slowly execute said plan. Doesn't matter if success or whatever. I just want people to get used to the environment. And then through that walking Buhurt, they can kind of get an idea of like, oh, this is like how it should be. This is how, and we've already worked the first act open field, the first act rail plays, all of our 2v1 takedowns. So they should be like a little warmed up to it already, the idea of it. And then sometimes after that point, I will allow them to do Buhurt, and with takedowns, with striking, but with same stipulation, walking Buhurt. I got this idea from literally fucking Instagram, like they do like 3v3 walking basketball or something.
Oh, okay.
Like just as like a warm up, because if you're really going to fake someone out of their shoes through like the walk, if you can fake someone out with body movement through walking, then you can definitely do it faster. But also in soft kit and in armor training, the real danger of the Buhurt is the intensity of it. And the danger is really the standing to the ground and the swinging. But if you take out running or you take out running or fast movement, then people are kind of focused on the wrestling, the communication, the striking, and they're like, I need to get out of here. And they like walk over there. So it's a way to scale the control of the chaotic scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You trick everybody.
Take out the quick movement part of it, and make everybody slow that down. But you can still be full on wrestling, full on team comms, full on like hitting whatever.
Go. Yeah.
Just slow it down at least to make it a little safer.
You
know
probably really realistically get more rounds out of practice that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm never afraid if I see something that's like, oh, these three guys are just going to go on for 10 minutes and slow everyone down. I'll always stop it a little early to keep it safe as well. Like, you don't want people to get so fatigued from 2 rounds that on the 3rd round, everyone is so tired because they just fought for 10 minutes or whatever straight, that then the injuries happen. And now they're not focusing on technique. Now they're going to get injured. Like, it's like, no, stop it early.
Reset.
Save people's gas tanks so that their brain is still active and that their bodies don't get hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then a thing we'll do a lot if it's 2v2 plus, or say we have 10 people at class and we're doing 2v2s or whatever, we'll just do rotators. And so a lot of times we'll do like 3v3. Yesterday, we were doing 3v3. If you live that round, you stay the next round. If you die, you rotate out. That's simple. And it's just 3v3 or whatever size it is, rotators. No, a lot of times if it's 3v3 plus, I will let them go to full finish. Unless it's like 2 people at the very end just struggle cuddling a lot, I will stop it and then make them be on the same team.
Right. And then that'd be either 3-1 because mercy rules or 2.
Yeah. Right. And so we'll do a lot of rotators where if you live, you stay, you die, you rotate out. And then yesterday I was putting on the stipulation 3v3. There's a striker on each team. Who's the striker? And then it's like, cool. And then I was doing the rules. If your striker dies, the guy, your team loses. If both of your goons die, your full wrestlers die, team loses. Just to put more stipulation on it, right?
That's cool.
Because it creates like
scenario play.
Yeah. Because it creates this kind of scenario where people can like finally focus on, and maybe you're the big rail guy, and maybe I tell you that you're the striker, and you're like, oh, I don't know how to be a striker. And I was like, yeah, but that's why you're being the striker of practice, buddy. Because if you just because it's not your position that you're going to play in real life, knowledge is power. So by playing a striker, you kind of understand, oh, these are the stipulations of people who are strikers fighting me that they're playing under. And then you can have a better idea how to capitalize on these suckers.
Yeah, you become a better teammate by understanding your teammate's position.
Right. You know what he's going to do even when his body language is talking. Like, if you see Sam, like, baiting or I forget what word you use, but if you see him baiting somebody, kiting, yes. Good old tank term from the video game days. But yeah, if you see him kiting, he's trying to turn his eyes away from you so you can flank. Because what I like to do, you like to sit there and be paranoid so you don't die. I like to put paranoia in my opponent's hearts, right? So like I like to stand where they have to turn their head all the way around to look at me, and then they got to look away from my teammate. I like to stand where like I'm behind them. And if they do something over here, if they commit over there, now something worse is happening, right? So it's like using that alongside your kiting teammate, alongside your positioning of your teammate, so on and so forth.
Because you know their skill set, and so you're like, I'm going to use his skill set for my advantage.
Right, and you get people practicing their position by putting them in that, like in training. Yeah, you'll never do this in a real fight, but there might be a time where you're in a 2v1 and your dude's holding him and he's dead dog tired and you got a 2-handed action. Yeah, you could go in and that you could just striker. Yeah, like you could become the striker. You could light him up. Why not? And then you get used to it. So it's cool stuff. So
and then so a lot of like walking Buhurts to start it, rotating Buhurts, put stipulation on Buhurt, you start adding in you're a striker. A lot of times too, if we're doing like full 5v5s, and then I'm like, okay, no more walking Buhurt. Now we'll just do normal 5v5s, but the first 10 seconds are only striking. No one's allowed to grapple. Just to like put this stipulation where everyone's sitting there like kind of like, and then I'm like full, and then it's like and then you see people like get in there and grapple and like do all this crap just to like mess with tempos and stuff with people too. Then we'll do. I tend to end it, and it's really popular. The dorks always like it. I call it chaos drill. And it'll just be. I'll put everyone on the list, and it's everyone versus everyone. So it's an all v all. But of course, you can pack up and be like Xander, let's take out Carly, and then we'll take out Carly, and then you immediately like turn on me.
So fun.
But
Colorado,
that chaos drill, essentially all the chaos drill is just a respawn fight. So when you die, Buhurt rules. When you die on the ground, you're dead for minimum 10 seconds, but really that's just your break. Just be on the ground as long as you want. That's your recovery time. And then when you're ready to start fighting again, as long as it's been over 10 seconds, you can stand up. You have to verbally, loudly announce, I'm alive. So you don't just suck somebody. You know what I mean? So you don't just like sucker punch somebody, and then you just keep fighting. And I'll do that. That's fun because then it's like this I'll end with it because it's a very chaotic environment. Everyone's running around. You're in these micro fights where you're making micro packs with people, attempting 2v1s, and then immediately turning on your buddy. Like a lot of people have a lot of fun with it. We do it armor, we do it soft kit, and it just creates like this chaotic environment. It's honestly just the way that like I train a lot in this like game chaotic style. I do actually kind of contribute the 12s and the 30s. We did really well in the 12s and 30s at World Cup this year. And I'm literally because I'm like, it's because of all the shoulder, knee, and like stick tag, like crazy and chaos drill, like all these crazy, big, fast moving, paranoid people everywhere. Like it makes it so that when these dorks are in like a 30v30 with 60 people fighting and dust is everywhere.
You've never practiced it. Yeah.
I'm used to this. I'm going to go over there and then I'm going to go over there. Like,
yeah.
So it's like fun.
Right.
I don't know. It's fun.
Well, it gets you adaptable, right? Like you're training their skill of adaptation. Can I adapt to in every 3 seconds to this new scenario that's popping up where, yes, Buhurt in fives has a script in some way or another, right? But it's ever changing, it's ever flowing. But then all of a sudden you're like, well, I've never done 12s, but I've done other chaotic things like all of y'all. So if I look over and I see a scenario, I can say, where am I most effective? In 30s, where am I most effective? So yeah, like it scales and adapt. You get people practicing that skill of adaptation, which is great. And then when you fight different metas, right? Like I went to Way of Honor, right, and like fighting different styles of Buhurt that forms in the UK, forms in America, forms on the West Coast, East Coast, Australia, wherever. People fight a little different, so you get more used to saying like, I don't know what they're gonna do, but I know how to adapt to it. So it's cool. I like it.
Yeah. That's a good one. And then like really, that's what, like a lot. That's like a lot what we do. But then things that we'll do also, like I know early next year, like either January, February, we're gonna have at training. It'll be a mock tournament week. So every training session that week will be a mock tournament. So it'll be like you'll show up and it'll be like, oh, it's armor training today. We're going to start with just like a mock sword and buckler. And then we're going to do a 2v2 Buhurt tournament. And then, then we'll just go through, and the outrance day, we'll do a mock outrance tournament. So people can practice, and we might even do like funny little weapons checks, just like get people used to the process. Be like, okay, guys, practice is at 6. We're going to do weapons check till 6:30. Then we're going to do our mock little tournament. And then, we'll give you like a freaking candy bar at the end. But just to get people used to being like, just to get people used to like, this is a tournament. This is the the kind of pressure of a tournament. This is the structure of a tournament.
You only get 5 minutes. Get back up. Get back in.
Like give people insight. Like this is the kind of environment that you're going to be doing. And so you can always do mock tournaments. Like if you have any size group, really, you can be like, 2v2. Let's do like a little mock tournament, whatever. And then I think, I have other stuff, but I've been rambling a lot.
That's
and I think
lot.
That's good. I think that's got a lot of crap. Do you guys have any questions or anything?
Not really, but I think what we should do is maybe we should do another episode and focus in on some get to the next half of whatever you want to share.
No, because there's a lot like I'm just one of those dorks who I've been sword fighting since I was 13. I'm 36. Like hopefully I'd be good at it, right? Otherwise I'm like, what are you doing with your life?
Your stories have been told.
There's some that have seniority on me that I'm like, how have you not gotten better at this point? What's going on?
Well, the truth is like with sword fighting, and that's what we try to say with like our club at Beast Armor Combat is that it's we just want to facilitate sword fighting. Like some people literally just want to sword fight with soft kit once a week because it's fun and they get a good sweat on, right? They're like, and some people they want to be world champions. And I want to facilitate everything in between because there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with doing a sport for a long time and never being the best at it, and doing it because you have fun. Like, you have to understand, when people go to tournaments, 95% of the people who leave that tournament, they don't go home with medals. Like, a mass majority of people who do this sport don't get medals, but they get something else out of it. They get like friendship, camaraderie. Like, to be in the trenches, it is one thing. It is so cool to be like, you're in a tournament, you win a fight, you lose 2 fights, and then you win another fight. Like, and to be like down in this dumps with your friends, and then just be like, guys, let's fucking pull through. Let's find the win. And you find that win, even if you don't win the tournament or whatever. Like, you like put yourself in a position that you never would have been in alone. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, there's good things, there's bad things, there's ugly things that happen. But at the end of the day, people do this thing, this like weird sword fighting Buhurt thing, because it like exponentially, like, I don't know, it's powerful. It's a weird thing. I don't like
the camaraderie. There's nothing quite like going to war with your siblings. Like, and you know, I always say, like, I'm going to war with my sisters. Like, I'm sorry, you guys don't have sisters, but like, like, it's.
I have a sister.
Do you go
Stephanie
in Buhurt?
No, I mean, you don't have war sisters. It's sad. You only have war brothers. But like, there's nothing like it. Like, there's, you know, like, and in some ways, like, you play soccer, you can play, like, there's a lot of team sports where you're kind of individually shining. You don't need to rely on each other in the same way. Like, obviously, teamwork is a part of those sports as well. But, like, you can be individually a good player and still play well with other teammates. In this sport, you have to know your people. Like, you really need to, like, understand, like, you're going to, like, literally pick them up and shove them up or help them, you know, get somebody off of them or something like that. Like, it's very unique. Indescribable. Yeah. Right. It's hard
it's a fighting sport. It's literally a martial art field game with weapons. It doesn't exist anywhere.
Full force.
I'm not even lying. I'm waiting for Australia to make it illegal. I'm waiting for Australia to be like, wait, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, if it became illegal, I would still do it. It's like, it just Wu-Tang,
just
like,
do it underground
style. Yeah. Just like sitting there like, we're working with the mafia. We fucking got a law and mafia in North.
Buhurt mafia. Okay.
I want to go underground.
We're closing out of the episode. I got a couple of rapid fire questions for you, just because I want to fill in some missing pieces in my mind. So, one, we've been struggling with figuring out which exact steel weapons are safe for training. Like, do you limit which ones are used, which ones are not? Like, is it arming scars instead of falchions? Like, just give me a quick, like, steel weapon striking rundown.
Again, like, a heavy stipulation. A lot of times, like, if we're training dueling, everything will be metal, and the sword will be it'll be an old foam sword, like one of our old beat up ones. Because then it's like, okay, we're still getting, and the weight's not that different, and it just cuts out on any sort of like dumb injury that could happen. Buhurt style, we have heavy, like we are very, very, like, only hit people where they have armor. Mm-hmm. Do not hit them hard. Like, even, like, a lot of people forget that a metal buckler is a fully metal buckler. Like,
it's a weapon.
It hits way harder than a sword. Like, so it's always very much like communicate with your buddies. Like, communicate with your buddies. If you're doing dueling, don't be afraid to use foam weapons in dueling training in full armor. Like, why wouldn't it? Like, why not? Not a big deal. If you're closer to a tournament season, yeah, bust out the metal, and just take it slow, have fun. If you're doing Buhurt, always have the talk about, be like, okay, guys, this is our practice agenda, like our practice objective. We're going to focus on 3v3s. We're going to focus on, you know, communication, head rips, strike, like, watch your striking, hit with their armor, do not hurt anybody. Right. And a lot of times our culture is really cool in our club too, because everyone always gets amped. Everyone's always amped. And then if there's a big swing, everyone's like, whoa, everyone will do the chill. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone will be like, training, dude, chill, training, and scale it back. Right. I used to only let the team train with sticks, like bamboo rattan, for armor training. but then I kind of got to a point where I was kind of like, yeah, but like really the sticks, I don't like we fight. The sport that we use is what makes it unique is the weapons, and the weapons are unique. The weight, the shape, the way they move when you swing them, like all that stuff. It's all unique. So I'm like, no, we need to be training with the weapons, but we need to be like, everybody needs to be really aware. Is like, this is what's going to really hurt people, man. Like improper throws, improper technique, and big swings are what's going to hurt people.
Right.
So let's really, really, really try to watch those guys. Like watch those. You know what I mean? Like it goes back to like Carly, never, ever, ever feel weird about communicating pace of training. Like I don't want any. Like in my opinion,
I'm like I'm pretty good at that. Yeah.
We have beasts. We have blood beasts. Are like our second team. We have sheaths, which is our female team, very strong. Women's team, very strong. But the only reason the sheaths have stuck around is because I refuse to allow a culture that they don't feel safe in. And that, like they should be able to train with anyone that they want to, and they should be able to set. Every single person should be able to set the stipulation of their safety and what makes it safe for them. And in my opinion, just as like a guy, and just as like through work or like through whatever training work my whole life, I've always thought that having women around men makes men better, if that makes sense. And if you want to have like a real culture of real people who really care about each other, but women don't feel comfortable there, then how fucking good can your culture actually be? So I've always, not that I put any of them on a pedestal, I treat them just like everybody else. But I refuse to I do not want them to be uncomfortable in training. And I think that through cherishing everyone's comfortability, especially the women in this sport, because this sport is so hard for women because it is male dominated and men are fucking assholes and think that they're going to war, not playing a fucking game. Like, I refuse. No, I like them being there, sheaths being there makes beasts better, and vice versa. And we complement each other, yin yang, and we are a team and we are a club. And if they don't feel comfortable there, then I don't think anyone should fucking be there. I think it's like, oh, then we built the wrong culture. If you can't have a girls team, if you can't have a women's team, a Buhurt team, because women don't feel comfortable in your club culture, then maybe you need to look at your fucking club culture, because it's probably not very good.
It's usually,
in my opinion, that's just
I totally agree. I think it's a canary in the coal mine. Like, as I because I've shopped other other clubs to, or not clubs, but like gyms to cross train in. And like that's the biggest indicator to me. If I walk in and like there's no girls there, that's not a place I want to be. And to your point too, I think it is true that like, you know, it like toxic cultures hurt men too. Like like try like if anything, like you said, it brings up the culture for everybody. It makes everybody safer. It makes everybody feel more like important. It makes everyone feel like they're a part of a team. If anybody can walk through like any, you know, sexual orientation or like race, creed, any of that, like everyone should have a place there, because once you start excluding people or making other people feel unsafe, it's only a matter of time until it comes back to you, and now you're not safe. You know, it's really easy to say, to marginalize people, like, oh, they're too weak or they're too small or whatever it is. Well, what if one day you're too weak and you're too small and now you're in this culture, now you're not safe. You know?
Right. And it also,
we've seen it happen in gyms too.
It's all based in the communication. It's all based in communication. Just talk to each other. Be comfortable. You know, like, and because our rules, I never finish it. Take a break whenever you want to take a break. Communication, consent is key. Consent is mandatory. And then the third rule is be polite. That's our whole club. Those are our club rules. If you're not polite, go home. Because I'm a nice, like, happy-go-lucky, whatever. I want training to be fun. I want to be fun. But if you are at the club and you're making someone uncomfortable or you're being a dick, I will really quickly turn a fucking asshole. And I'll be like, yo, you need to go, dude. Like, just go. Like, just leave. Like, because if you're not being polite, then why are you there, dude? This is supposed to be fun. And you're like here being a dick. Like, what? Like, nobody wants to hang out with that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. No, I think it's awesome. I think you guys get the vibe. Like, it's a game. It's fun. It's brutal. It's hard. It brings people together. But since it's so dangerous, there needs to be a safety talk all the time. And people need to put each other in check and remember that it's fun and just give each other little kisses every now and then.
So true. That's like, there was like a whole tournament where you guys were all like, we need to don't forget to kiss the homies. Don't forget to kiss the homies.
Oh my God. You got to kiss them on the way down. You hit them. You kiss them.
Sam's always trying to get his damn lips on me. Get off of me, Sam. He's cute. He's cute.
You let him. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just stand up tall. He won't be able to reach you with his lips.
No, that's okay. Then he gets my neck.
No! Get out of here, Sam.
No, I'm kidding.
All right. So I got another question, just because filling in the gaps here, across cultures. Yeah. So what is the minimum level of like soft kit gear protection you would allow in a practice? So like helmet, body protection, arm protection, hand protection. Like what? Give me a quick
minimum helmet, just because it's like, you need something. You can get like a lacrosse helmet, a hockey helmet, soft Sparta Warrior, the cage helmets, tiger helmets, whatever. Even just your real armor helmet.
Yeah.
Really. Then minimum hand protection. We use low profile boxing gloves. Bag work boxing gloves is what they're called. They have the loose thumb, like a loose thumb, and then just full padded. They're just bag work boxing gloves. It allows you to hold onto your weapon, but have full hand protection.
It's more like a gauntlet.
Yeah. And then in America, it's way easier to get lacrosse gloves and hockey gloves and stuff. Here, it's really hard. But in America, lacrosse gloves, indoor hockey gloves. Some sort of box protection, just because, like a cup, some sort of cup. And then
protect your bits.
You don't need so minimum helmet hands. Minimum helmet hands. Because the shins, not necessarily mandatory, but I would always suggest some sort of MMA shin guard and knee pad, volleyball knee pad, MMA shin guard, but not completely mandatory. If it was minimum, I would say hands, helmet, some sort of equipment. Yeah, and you can make it out of PVC and Fun Noodle if you have to, dude. You know what I mean? Like, because even if you only had like a PVC Fun Noodle sword, a helmet, and the gloves, you can still like, I'll just pretend like this one's a shield.
Yeah, and then you're soft kit. But then you're like, you're hitting him soft, you're hitting him nice, so it's like the gear reflects like the power level you're going for. So and then that that's like minimum. What I have my guys standard, everyone has full soft kit legs. So knee pads, shin pads, or like the Sparta Warrior soft kit legs. So minimum, you have legs, you have a box, and then we provide chests, helmets, gloves, weapons. So we provide legs as well. No arms for soft kit, but elbow pads. Look, my elbow's a little crooked on this one. Yeah.
But elbow pads. The more you do it, I'd be like, get elbow pads if you really want to do it. I because I'll train soft kit 3 times a week usually, and then armor once a week. I will full head to toe like pad, but it's because I want to do a lot of reps. And where you're really going to get hurt in the soft kit training is banging on the list a lot with your elbows or your body. Falling to the ground is dangerous, like one of the most dangerous, because like somebody's trying to sweep you or leg grab or throw you and you fall on the ground weird. And then the head punches with soft kit helmet. I try to be like light on soft kit head punches because it just translates really hard. You know what I mean?
You don't want that.
You know what I mean? Just that. I mean, it'll always pick up. And with certain people, of course, you're like, oh, we're just going to go for it. But I always try to be considerate about some sort of head impact because, in my opinion, soft kit, head impact, ground going to the ground, that's the most dangerous. Like, that's where the injury is going to happen. With armor, the armor does its job usually for impact, but then there's always the danger of going to the ground in full armor. So it's like, it's a lot of the same things. I prefer more soft kit training just because I can get higher rep loads, and you don't get as exhausted as fast, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you can do higher reps. But because of all this soft kit, people get this false confidence that they're actually safer than they are. But I'm like, no, dude, you only have half an inch of foam on you. You're like, you know what I mean? You don't need to like dive kick them as hard as you can. So I'll do a lot of soft kit, but it's like for high rep loads, and try to really focus on like, guys, watch your power with this shit because you'll get really hurt. And then in armor training, it's just like, okay, what is the thing that we're working on today? Let's just try to go for hour and a half, 2 hours, and then get the fuck out of here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
All right. Pause. Do we have any more questions?
I have no more questions, but I do have carnitas on the stove that need attention.
Okay, so
oh, yum.
carnitas. So Collin, first off, thank you for being here. It's been awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
I love it. No problem. I'd love to do another one. You guys are just easy to talk to, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
That's like literally what we try to do.
That's our job.
Thank you. That is seriously like such a high compliment. Thank you. Thank you.
So
try so hard.
Try
so fucking hard.
Podcasting is very fun. So to close out, I wanted to make sure, we wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to either like, hype up some friends, plug your stuff. Like, is there anything you're working on? Is there anything you're really excited about? Like, we're gonna give you 5 minutes to talk. Even though you don't need to be given 5 minutes to talk, you'll definitely do it.
I'm gonna listen from the stove.
And she's gonna listen from the stove, so it's just Xander time.
Easy. So, Beast Armor or beast.org.au for Beast Armor Combat, the club here in Australia that I rock with a lot. I train a lot with S-Ride. Check his Instagram, his YouTube out. Johnny Porter, he's like my boy. He also has a really good training regimen. S-Ride has a really good training regimen. If you're looking
done both of
to
them.
Get into your fitness, that's awesome.
I've done both of them. It's great.
That's awesome. Me, myself, dude, I'm like full. I mean, you can see outside, it's full-blown Australian summer. I'm doing Christmas. I'm doing New Year's. And then early next year, I'll just get back into it, man. I think I'll probably go to Denmark this year. I'm just like, I had a big year last year, so this year I might focus more on just the Australian home front.
Are you at the Invitational? Are you going to be at the Invitational this year?
In Romania?
We don't know. Technically, we don't publicly know where it is yet, but it's either Romania or Brazil. But yeah.
TBD. I still don't know. Likely, I'll probably just chill out this season because I had a big season last season. I want to focus on the Australian bros because there's a lot of great teams here in Australia, man, and it's like Australia is like really blown up over the past 5 years. Like this Nationals, I think we had like 20 plus tier 2 teams. We had like 8 or 10 tier 1 teams. Like
amazing.
It's gone crazy here. It's gone crazy. So I'm just hanging out, living the dream, dude. Loving it. Talking to you, dude.
That's so good, dude. I love that. Yeah, I don't mean to jump in on your time, but like we're finally going to our first European fight as Pale Horse. Like, so we're getting our first overseas at Invitational. So I was like, maybe we'll see each other there because that's like somewhere in the middle. But
I'm always one of these dudes who gets FOMO. Like, they're like, I'm not going. And then 2 months later, I'm like, oh, Xander's going to be there? Maybe I should go. Like,
fucking FOMO.
I always do it. Dude.
It's murderous, that FOMO. Yeah, like you're saying Denmark, and one of my teammates is talking about going, like if it's in Romania, it's 2 weeks apart. So he's like, okay, what if we just go to Denmark and then we just stay there for 2 weeks?
They're not far. They're not far apart.
But it's like you got to also be able to afford like the 2 weeks out of work, the 2 weeks in Romania. And I'm like, bro. Or Denmark, Romania. I'm like, bro, go live your life. You might as well. When else are you going to get to do the opportunity to go win two medals at 2 different worldwide organizations? And I don't know. It's
always one of those things where it's like, you only live once. Dude. I'm like, you said that last year.
I'm living again.
Well, it's true. They'll be every year. They will be every year.
I'm taking my mom, though. She'll help.
That's cute. Mom's helping.
Oh yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity. I love your guys' podcast, dude. You guys are great. That was really fun. I had a great day. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go on a jog. It's a beautiful day out, man.
Hell yeah!
All right, but wait. So
I just got back from mine right before we started.
So we wanted to ask, Carly, do you have a question for Collin?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, who's the problem in Australia?
What do you mean?